Hey, onesies, Josh Williams here, and thanks for checking out this week's episode of the One Man Podcast. It's always free and available on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play Music, and many more, as well as on the web at onemanpodcast.com. So please, whatever platform you're listening on, like and subscribe. While you're at it, give it a rating, leave a review. Why? Because it helps the podcast, and I'd really appreciate it. How about that? What about social media? Search One Man Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube to keep up with what's going on there. Get a little extra content for yourself. And finally, to get in touch, please send your emails to contact@onemanpodcast.com. You send it, I read it on the podcast. That's the deal. Thanks for listening, guys, and I hope you enjoy this week's episode.
What's up, everybody? This is DJ Demers from Conan O'Brien and America's Got Talent, and you are listening to the One Man Podcast.
Yeah!
It's Josh Williams here, and welcome to the One Man Podcast, episode number 134 for Wednesday, December 3rd, 2019. How's it going, onesies? You guys having a good week so far? We are now officially in the holiday season. Many holidays celebrated. Don't pick one. You might get in trouble. Today, I'm going to be sitting here doing the podcast with my buddy Paul. Paul is a comic. Thanks for joining me, buddy. As he's about to take a sip.
It's great to be here.
That's fantastic. I got him one of my Mexican Coca Fiesta Pack Fantas. He's drinking an orange Fanta made with real sugar, guys.
Real sugar. You got to get out and get this stuff.
People look at Mexico like it's an impoverished country, guys, but apparently they are drinking the good stuff when it comes to sodas.
We're fools up here. We're fools with our corn.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you guys know this, but in North America, it's the only part in the world that makes their Coca-Cola products without sugar. Everywhere else uses cane sugar. They use high fructose corn syrup.
Brought to you by Pepsi.
Yeah. The competitive products. And I think Pepsi does a sugar one here. They do the throwback, they call it, and they use sugar.
Yes, that's true.
You can get like made with sugar. It's like sugar's this fancy commodity.
Yeah, real prop drinkers won't drink it because it's made with sugar. So
oh, really?
It doesn't taste.
It's not even real. Yeah, they go to another country.
Flavor buds.
What about those Coke people you're telling me about? They went to another country and all they can get is the real sugar stuff. They're just going to not drink Coke for...
Well, those are the high class people. We're talking about regular pop.
I don't think anyone who just chugs pop all the time is particularly high class.
Who drinks pop all the time that's high class? I heard the Queen's a big Fanta lady.
Is she?
Yeah.
I don't look at her as high class. I look at them as fake class. That's formality class.
She's a quitter now. So
let's start off this podcast. I haven't even introduced the things we're going to be talking about, but I'm going to type in famous pop drinkers. How about that? Famous soda? Should I do soda?
Soda pop. That's how they say it in Philly. Soda pop. You want some soda
You want some soda pop?
You want some soda pop? No, I don't want soda pop.
Soda pop.
Give me a Coke.
Sweet. America's top 10 brands of soda. That's not what I want. I want famous pop
You won't
drinkers.
get them. They're not public. No one's a public pop drinker.
A 12 Diet Cokes a day habit like Trump's is worth changing. So there you go. Trump is a 12 Diet Coke a day. No wonder he's ridiculous in the head. He's been drinking all that aspartame. It's made him on the spectrum. It's given him special needs. Come on. Famous pop drinkers? I got to say that.
See, I didn't acknowledge Trump as a famous pop drinker. I'm going to stop drinking pop now.
Good. Maybe this is a public
Diet
service
Coke,
announcement
though, right?
more than
Is
everything
Diet
else.
Coke? Diet Coke? Oh,
12 famous tea drinkers in pop culture. When I typed in famous pop drinkers, what pop is the most popular? What's the most popular soda in the world? Can you get drunk off of pop? That's an interesting question.
What was the answer?
Let's take a look. It's one of those people also ask, can you get drunk off pop? I mean, I think stupid people. So here we go.
That was the answer, right?
Psychology Today. Here we go. We're going to bring it up. It's an article from February 26th, 2015. Think you can't get drunk on soda water? Think again. Soda water, it says. A powerful demonstration of how easily we can be fooled. Was this a demonstration about how if we read the article and believe we've been fooled? Have you ever felt more intoxicated than you thought you should, given the amount of alcohol that you consumed? The psychological effect of alcohol and the subjective feelings of alcohol intoxication depend upon many factors, including your weight, how much you've had to eat, and sleepiness. But what about what about psychological factors? For fuck's sakes, you telling me you're psychosomatically getting drunk? Can they also influence how alcohol affects you? Can factors such as context and expectations influence the subjective and behavioral effect? This is like
Adam Sandler already did this. He recovered this. Whenever he did the fake weed.
Did he? When did he do that?
He's on one of his CDs.
So now they're talking about
on that.
These findings exemplify the placebo effect. Like I'm skimming through this. I hate that you're trying to read an article and they're like, well, we have a 5,000 word minimum. So instead of just answering your question in a paragraph, you got to read like, a lot of people like to drink pop. Pop's been fun. It's a pastime. When you're a kid, you love it. I remember cracking pop, the bubbles going up my nose. I'm like, the article was, can you get drunk off pop? And now I don't even think it's saying that. I think it's trying to, like, it was like not even purely on pop. It's like, well, if you're drinking pop with rum in it, the sugar's also in, like, adding to the. Yeah, but that wasn't the question. The question wasn't will pop make you more
the
drunk?
question anymore. You make a completely different argument while you're answering.
Everybody's
the
in politics, so fuck you, psychology today. I'm always arguing on behalf of psychology, and people are like, I don't believe psychology is a thing. And then you look at things like that, and I'm like, oh, thanks for making one argument for the opposite team, psychology.
I tell you, the internet's made us just all so confused.
Yeah. So,
Love it.
This week, guys, besides reading shitty articles, I will be talking about some whiskey tastings that I did. I did a training for a new activation I'll be doing all December long. I had to run a bunch of activations, they call them, promotions. Okay. Yeah, so I had to do a bunch of monkey work for one of the other events that I was doing, and I'll tell you guys that once I get into the story. I did another event. I played some games with my pals Mika and Mel. I bought more whiskey. Oh man, I was on the hunt for whiskeys this week. I did a show in Renfrew. I did a show out in Orleans. I was introduced to something called a McGangbang, and I will talk about that.
I was in Renfrew. When were you in Renfrew?
Saturday night.
I was in Renfrew Saturday night. Where were you performing?
Flamingo's restaurant.
Oh, I was at the Renfrew.
I thought you were just keep going. I was at Flamingo's restaurant.
Well,
I was on stage.
I wasn't on the high end gig in Renfrew that night. I was at the curling club.
The curling club?
Yeah.
You curl?
No, there was no curl. They shut the curling down for comedy. That's how.
Oh, you did a show you did a show on Saturday with who?
It was with Chris and some other new comic. I don't know.
Chris.
A bunch.
A lot
of
Chris's.
What? I shouldn't talk about it. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it.
Says who?
I don't know.
Well, you brought it up.
I was bringing it up because I was in Renfrew doing comedy too. We were doing sober.
Chris Kingsbury?
No, not Chris Kingsbury.
Who the fuck is Chris?
The Renfrew Queen. You don't know?
Never heard of the Renfrew Queen. Chris. Is it a comic in Ottawa?
No, she's running Renfrew shows. She runs a lot of Renfrew shows.
Okay.
She's a DJ out there. You don't know?
No.
Chris?
No.
You're going to have to look it up. You not have her
Look, I have to look up Renfrew Chris?
No, you don't have her
the
on.
Queen of...
She's not on your comic list?
Well, I don't know who Chris is. A producer.
Yeah.
Well, you have a pen and paper in front of you. Can't you just write it down if you don't want me to say it?
Of course I want you to say it. I just don't want to plug her show on your show.
Oh, I don't give a fuck about that.
Oh, you don't?
What's the fucking name?
Oh, you could tell?
Yeah. Does she have a podcast?
No, she doesn't have a podcast.
Well, then why wouldn't I?
Why wouldn't I? She's got her own show in Renfrew.
Well, that's what I figure. Why wouldn't I want to plug her show?
Podcast. She's on like AM radio, I think.
Interesting.
I'm going to show you real quick because I just can't believe you don't know Chris.
Well, so yeah, but I don't have a problem plugging other shows.
I wasn't sure if you were. That's the thing because we didn't discuss.
Yeah. Don't worry. Nothing's off limits for me.
What the rules are with regards to plugging other people.
Yeah, I don't care. Never heard of that person.
You never heard Chris?
No, Chris Kite. No idea who that is. I don't even. And this is like, and this person is a pain in the ass just based on their Facebook picture because they've got the same other person with them in both their cover photo and.
They're in love.
I don't give a fuck. I still don't know which one's Chris.
Chris is in the red shirt. You've never met Chris.
Never met Chris.
She doesn't come into town that often.
We're gonna have to keep repeating that. Well, I'll tell you what. You can introduce me to her sometime.
I did her. She does a show out there, and she did a show in Petawawa, and she does the whole valley. She's dominating in the valley with comedy. I can't believe you. Well, you were out there doing with Absolute, were you?
Yeah. Well, no, it was through my own thing. It was a staff party. As a matter of fact, Casey Corbin, who's also been featured. Guys, listen to Casey's.
Well, that's his turf, isn't it?
Interview. Well, he's from the Valley, but this is a friend of his that he wasn't able to do the show. He reached out to me and said, "Hey, I got the perfect." He actually reached out to her and said, "I got the perfect guy for you. Get a hold of my buddy Josh."
Perfect.
Yeah, we did the show. It was myself and Jason Harper, and I'll talk about that later on. Cool. There's also the McGangbang that I was introduced to, and of course, wonderful, my buddy Matt Watson, guys, who have also done an interview episode with here. His mother, Sue, is an absolutely amazing human being. Every year she makes me red pepper jelly, which I will talk about. And then this year, usually Matt and I will wrap Christmas gifts together. And then last year he upped my Christmas game. And so now I'm getting on board with what they did. So I'll talk about that a little bit later on. But first things first, I did my first in-home whiskey tasting. Yeah, pretty excited about that. What do you got going on? Are you messaging this person right now to be like, man, I can't believe that this guy Josh Williams doesn't know you?
No, I'm bringing up like whiskey stuff.
Oh, really?
Well, I'm trying to sound like I know what I'm talking about here.
Well, do you have whiskey questions? I'll talk whiskey.
Well, no, you start talking and I'll ask away because I'm sure I'm pretty ignorant of it. So
Well-
I'll have lots of questions to ask you. Will they be good questions? We'll find out.
Ooh, I like it. The
Please,
mysterious.
if they're not good questions, just say that's the.
You can ask anything. No, I would never.
Because I'm a firm believer there are stupid fucking questions.
I don't think so. If
Am I allowed to swear?
Of course, dude.
I swear a
Everything's
lot.
fine.
I swear too much.
I swear, not at all. You're good. As long as you're comfortable and having fun. The more fun you have, the more fun I think the audience will have listening to it.
Good.
In all fairness. So yeah, I don't know. We did a whiskey tasting here at the house. I started a whiskey group because here's the thing. I have accumulated quite the collection of whiskey over
You guys
the
all
last...
can do AA together too? Is that like the
AA?
plan?
Oh, yeah.
The group goes together.
So
anyone's quitting, we're all quitting.
I don't think I can. I'd rather... I'd not... Well...
Don't quit.
Here's the thing, I've never had problems with the drink. You know what my worst problem is? The drink is I'll be a good bitch all day and eat well and be smart with what I'm consuming.
me with the calorie
and then I
count?
hit a fucking. I'll have a couple drinks and throw caution to the wind. And be like, you guys want to get a pizza? You know, where you go through
Booze is
get
gateway.
McDonald's. Yeah, it
gateway
basically
to the
drops. My inhibitions aren't like, oh, I'll fuck a stranger. Mine are more like, I'll put a dirty Big Mac in my mouth.
Drinking, smoking weed, you still end up in the fridge. It don't matter.
That's right.
It don't
Yep.
fucking matter. Your
Yep.
fridge is getting punished.
Yeah,
So that's
and I don't in my fridge of stuff I have to work for. So once I've had a few drinks, I'm not chopping up fucking veggies and making a salad. I'm give me a dirty burger, but I will get into that. So I did a whiskey tasting, and because I've collected so much whiskey over the last year, the vast majority of it has been collected. I got
That was always my problem. I couldn't collect it.
really, yeah,
Couldn't collect it.
yeah, would always just go as soon as you got it.
Had to get it in, get it out.
Yeah, it's fair. Can we talk about your situation?
Sure.
Yeah. So just so people know, because I had to ask Paul this.
Situation. It's not a situation
Well,
anymore.
fuck.
That's the beautiful thing about it.
Well, that's true. Yes. Well, the position that you have on alcohol.
Let's talk about it.
But I just mean basically because Paul's a friend of mine, and we've talked about this before. You know, just hanging out. And so I was telling him, I'm like, well, I did a lot of whiskey stuff this week, and I'm going to talk about it on the podcast.
Josh doesn't know I'm doing an intervention.
Oh,
the
shit.
whiskey.
Oh, fuck! I wish I'd kept the receipts for all those bottles. Then.
It's a one-on-one intervention. Everyone is listening, though.
Yeah, we'll finally get emails.
I'm not. Stop sweating. I'm not intervening. Stop sweating.
That's pretty funny. I don't. You know what's funny?
Are you drunk?
Something I do. I take a little pride in actually is I don't sweat on. I'm not a big sweater, and I don't sweat on stage. A lot of comics on stage, and they immediately start sweating, and you can see it on their face, whatever. I'm not a sweater.
I heard
So
comics doing that.
for a fat guy, that's one little bit of a saving grace I have, that I'm not walking around just wet all the time. A lot of people, there are a lot of fat guys who are just wet every time you see.
I
You
heard
watch
Comic
them
Friday do a whole bit on his sweat.
on how wet he is. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good bit though.
I always wonder too. I'm like, because you look scared, even if you're not scared. If you're sweating, just sweat kind of. It looks fearful to me,
And it
especially when you're just
smells.
standing there doing
Fear
nothing.
Sweat smells too.
Yeah.
But
If you're just standing and sweating, that looks more fear than exertion. If you're a fat guy and you're helping someone move and you're sweating, you're like, he's a fat fuck and he's, a fuck who is fat. I have this big thing now, but you can't see the disability first, right? It's not a blind person. It's a person who's blind. Not a fat fuck. You're a fuck who is fat. So
it's not a disability this
sure
time of
it
year
is.
in this part
Sure
of the
it is.
country.
You try bending over and picking things up, carrying an extra 100 pounds on your front. You're not fat, you piece of shit.
I'm skinny fat though. That's the
fine.
issue. I can't
Whatever.
get my
Look,
shoes.
everyone's got their own thing.
Flexibility
If that's what you're hung up on,
Don't
then-
care about size. It's flexibility. Everyone can be flexible. You can be heavier and be flexible.
I was gonna say your volume got louder all of a sudden. You're doing that like radio. Hey,
I'm just getting
tuning in
used
right
to
now.
this
Yeah,
mic.
exactly.
You can ask all the comics that ever did my show. I had like the shittiest mic. I was like,
Oh, like your basement show?
yeah, it just would cut in and out, and they would just lose it. I get guys like people are like a foot away. Like,
Yeah.
pretend the mic works.
Yeah, just keep.
No,
doing
they
it.
would just start
Plow
yelling
through.
at me in front of everyone.
Whatever, the fucking-
It was a good show, those.
Yeah, and I wish I'd been every time you booked one, I would end up having something else booked. And I'm like, fuck,
You know my rules. If you're getting paid, go do it.
right? It's
You
fair.
Just come to hang out at my place.
Which would have been fun. So anyways, yeah, so for Paul's doesn't drink. That's it. So I was just, when I was doing the list of stuff today, I'm like, I'm
Drink
talking about a lot of
water.
whiskey stuff.
I drink pop. I drink stuff.
He doesn't imbibe alcohol,
I don't consume the fire water
the fire water.
anymore.
Yeah. So I was like, I got a lot of whiskey stuff I'm talking about. Are we good? And you're like, yeah, I love that. So just if anyone feels me treading, or if I'm not like, hey, Paul, what kind of whiskeys do you like? But you're allowed to ask. But you're allowed to ask any questions that you want regarding it. All I know is that I got wicked into it over the last couple of years. I started with just enjoying Scotch out of nowhere because my buddy Paul Verzi, we went out to cigar bars together. And we would have like a Scotch and a cigar. And I was like, oh, fuck. And the nicer Scotch you got, you're like, oh, there's actually more going on in this. Yeah. And then I bought a few bottles. I bought just a couple little bottles here and there. And then I ended up doing an event where I came home with like 16 bottles of alcohol. And I was like, well, I guess I have a whiskey collection now.
Beautiful.
So, and I didn't buy them there. It was like free bottles of alcohol.
Really?
So, yeah.
You gotta take those.
Yeah. So I was like, okay. So I had bourbons and ryes and scotches. And I'm like, okay, well, I have a small little collection now. And then every now and again, you see something that's good. That's, $10 off. And you're like, okay, well, that's a good price. And so now I have a whiskey collection.
That's awesome.
But I'm enjoying learning about it and drinking it. And it's actually,
it's just like wine. Fun. It's just like wine.
Yep.
It's absolutely.
And I had a wine collection for a while
better than
too.
wine. I have more respect for people who are whiskey tasters and whiskey collectors. And
well, it was just
it takes up less room too, probably. I imagine. Than
well,
wine.
And you get. I think for me personally, it's more bang for your buck because there was a period of time where I had a big wine collection, which I've since converted into a whiskey collection.
Did you sell off wine to buy whiskey?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's true love.
In a manner of speaking, I'll tell you off the air what I actually did. But
oh yes, Cesus is listening.
No, not. It wasn't illegal. It wasn't illegal. It was just like
you don't come
not
across as a
not
illegal
ideal
kind of guy.
No. Oh, I don't. Good.
As I drink
good
Mexican pop.
That's right. Yeah, I import. That's how. That's how much of a fucking pop connoisseur cunt I am. As I just fucking. Oh, you don't drink imported pop?
No, I was
soda pop.
I was just impressed that it was in a glass bottle. That's like I was like, that ain't from around here.
Nope. It's tasty. Yeah. When was the last time you saw
Maybe
Fanta
Vancouver?
You can get, dude, everywhere in LA has Mexican Coke. Everywhere.
Oh, I'm talking about the glass.
No, I know, but I'm saying they all come in like knee-high glass bottles and everything like that. All the Mexican, I don't think I've seen Mexican Coke in a can.
Really? Mm-hmm. Why is that? They don't have canning factories, I guess.
Who knows?
Tariffs on aluminum.
But it's better, right? Glass is better for the environment, right? Am I crazy?
Yeah, it's way better.
Yeah.
Did you know, here's a funny fact about pop and glass, that when Coke was initially developing their bottle, they put it out to tender, and the only specifications that they had to the bottle that people were competing to present was that it had to be recognizable, smashed on the ground. Isn't that weird?
They had to.
If it was smashed, their product bottle was the Coke bottle was smashed on the ground.
Yeah, just still know it was a Coke bottle.
People would be able to look at it and go, "Hey, that's a Coke bottle."
And so, what did they do to make sure that was the case?
They
painted it red.
No, they came up with that design that how the bottom is so thick, like it doesn't matter how many times you smash that bottom, it's not going to break.
Oh,
so
I
that's
see.
the part that it will break certain. I don't know, but anyways, apparently a Coke bottle is this Fanta bottle. You wouldn't know that was Fanta.
No, I wouldn't. The weird
ghosts?
sort of.
You got ghosts in your house? There's like a shadow just went across the.
Oh yeah, Jason's leaving.
He is a ghost, that boy. The ghost of Absolute.
The ghost of Absolute. Ghost of Christmas yet to come.
Is he still telling jokes or what?
No, he quit
Why
everything.
did he quit?
Because I don't know. He was actually
people.
afraid. He said he has nightmares of doing stand up. He has nightmares that he's on stage and he forgets his act. And I'm like, well, it's been like 5 years since you did comedy, so
He'd be perfect now because everyone forgets. No one doesn't act anymore. Everyone just gets up and free balls.
yeah. And they pretend that's what a lot of crowd.
I'm
Man,
crowd working,
you guys just
baby.
get up there and freestyle. You're like, I could do it. I could just go up there and be funny for an hour. It's like, you think so?
I can do 30. I can do 30, no problem, man.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah,
I'm like, I have no doubt you could stand there and talk for half an hour.
You just did 40 minutes of crowd work.
Yeah.
Still haven't heard a joke.
Yeah. Well, that's me. I'm the fucking crowd work guy.
But you're good. But there's a difference between emceeing quality crowd work and doing your
And then just shooting
shit.
shit. Yeah.
Shooting your shit.
That makes sense.
It's a big, yeah. That's why it's dangerous to do MC work and then try to go headline, right?
I get also my thing. I'm headlining in January, recording my album.
You're recording an album?
Yep.
Why are we not fucking talking about that?
I listen to the podcast. Fuck, it's on the
You're
list. Yeah.
getting me on whiskey. I'm cool.
You're like, why aren't you talking about it? I'm like, well, listen to the previous episodes. I do talk about it.
I look bad there.
That's where I tell people. It's the whole point of this podcast. I tell them what's going on with my life. I plug it later in the show too. So yeah, I did the whiskey tasting on Wednesday because now that I've amassed this collection of whiskey, and yes, if you have whiskey questions, ask. But now that I've amassed this for fuck's sakes, Jason's parked behind me. Never mind. We have issues with parking in our driveway. Usually I'm parked behind Jay.
Yeah.
It's not the case. I was worried that he's going outside, and I'm like,
Well, you're
stop
talking
and
whiskey,
move the
so
car.
you can't drive. So I would have to.
I can talk whiskey. I haven't been consuming it.
So you say.
All right. So all of that, sorry, listeners, for the last 30 seconds of nonsense. I've been starting to do like, okay, well, now that I have all this whiskey, so this is what I learned too, okay, is that, and I think I've told my listeners about infinity bottles, but fuck it. They've listened to me tell the same story twice before. I learned, because I had all these collections of bottles I was bringing home, and I was just thinking, I'll open them up, right? And as long as I don't consume them, because I've had open bottles of like Kahlua and Bailey's and shit, and a lot of people do. You don't go through it super, super fast. Yeah. But I'm like, so I open these whiskeys, and I'm like, yeah, I'll just pour, an ounce or whatever. It's got a cork to stop it up. It's good. Yeah. The only thing is that once you open a bottle, you have about a year or two, sometimes 3, depending on how full it is, to drink it. It's not a lot of time. And I only learned recently that there's like the clock ticking. Once a bottle is half empty or more, you've got maybe a few months to drink it because the amount of air in there, the evaporation, like alcohol evaporates. You pour yourself a glass of a spirit, that alcohol is evaporating as soon as it's there. So you could leave it there for, if you had like a shot of something in a glass, you could leave it there for an hour or so.
That's what was destroying the ozone, wasn't it?
Yeah, alcohol vapors from whiskey. But I'm just saying, if you put a glass of whiskey down in an hour, it's going to taste vastly different than when you first poured it, because the alcohol is just sitting there evaporating the whole time.
It's like wine.
Theoretically, but it's not so like wine can open up to certain extents, and it's still evaporating, but it's evaporating so because the alcohol content is
Isn't it
smaller.
like the glass, what glass you poured in will
It makes a difference. It's more
too.
funneling the evaporation. It's not so much that the glass affects the evaporation.
Is that aroma more so?
Right. That's why, like, in drinking whiskey out of a Glencairn, it's like tulip shaped. Same thing with a wine glass. It's more open and then funneled. The idea is that, like, you can get the smells, but what they do is they open up and then it funnels that scent right to your nose. So with whiskey, you put it down, it's still evaporating, and it's high alcohol content. It's like minimum 40% with a lot of them. And then all the way up to like the ones we were drinking the other night, we're up to 61% alcohol.
What's the minimum age that the whiskey has to be on your table? Like,
no, I'm not a cunt like that.
But like, is there like a cutoff? Like,
no,
no,
because there's a lot. Well, for example,
old?
Most whiskeys are going to be at least
12,
2
10,
years old.
10.
I would say at least,
wow.
and I said most. So the idea is bourbons are usually 2 years. I think in order for them to be legally called straight bourbon, they have to be aged for 2 years in the American oak barrels.
That's
So
like
if you see like Kentucky
Napoleon.
straight bourbon,
like Napoleon's a bourbon, isn't it?
I don't know.
Bourbon brand.
maybe.
My
I'm
neighbor
only
drinks this.
learning, but I'm learning very quickly.
Interesting. Well, he's starting to be a passion. Yeah.
Yeah, but the idea was basically once a bottle is opened, the clock is ticking. And as much as I have this whiskey collection, I'm not drinking every day. And the days that I do drink, it's maybe I'll pour, an ounce into the bottom of a glass and I'll just sip it. Like that's the thing. Jason is a drinker. He drinks like a lunatic every freaking day, beer and vodka. He doesn't drink whiskey. He doesn't like whiskey because it tastes good. But he'll drink the shittiest beer. He'll drink the shittiest vodka.
shitty
whatever.
beer?
He buys like nice decanters and pours shitty stuff into them. So he looks like
good.
classy.
I was
when
going to
he's
say,
drinking.
it does look class because when you were gone, I was like, some ballers.
Yeah. No, it's like the cheapest,
Borderline
gas
apple
station.
juice.
Even though we have like LCBO and SAQ, he goes like to the SAQ and he'll buy the cheapest shitty can. He pours it in there because he just mixes it. He drinks like
Yeah, if you're mixing, it's no big deal. Right?
yeah. But I'm saying overall, and sometimes he'll just pour himself one on the ice like he wants to look fancy. But it's like you're just drinking vodka on the rocks. It's rubbing alcohol. Anyways, I'm drink shaming. I shouldn't.
Do you drink vodka on the rocks?
You can if you're
you
being stupid.
you're
Jason loves to be stupid. Nothing he loves more than that.
Now, here's a question because that's the big thing. You shouldn't be putting rocks in your whiskey, right? Because you're watering it down.
Correct. It's not that you shouldn't.
Was it neat?
Neat is with nothing. So I'll answer that question happily. So my big thing was I had all these bottles opened. I'm not drinking every day, and they're starting to go. So some of them I've actually had for almost 2 years
So
now.
you literally have a drinking problem. Like,
Yeah, but
there go.
not the kind
Yeah.
where it's like, oh, I drink too much. It's like I have a lot of alcohol, I'm not drinking it enough.
Yeah, that's a real.
So
that's a real
because I was
problem.
saving it. Some of these bottles, right? Like I didn't have some of the bottles I have are over $100, which is a lot for a fucking less than a liter of liquid, regardless of what's in it. But so I would pour myself one once in a while and enjoy it. Then when I was like, oh, these things are going. Like, there's not to say that you're going to come back and the bottle's going to be empty, but the idea is that you're going to taste it and it doesn't taste like that product did originally. It didn't taste the way it was intended to because it's been evaporating for 2 years.
$20 Mickey.
Maybe. Well, I don't know if it'll be that bad. In fact, maybe it'd be interesting to pour it in a glass and leave it for like, an hour and then just come back and taste it and say, okay, well, this is what evaporation tastes like. But it's the alcohol that evaporates, not the whole liquid, right? Regular water evaporates, but not at the same speed. So that's the whole thing, guys. So if you're like, well, what do you mean evaporation? It's still in the bottle. We're not talking about that. It's the alcohol that evaporates. But at the alcohol, when you get a 60% alcohol in a whiskey, when that alcohol is gone, it's going to taste vastly different because that alcohol is part of the taste. So that's all it was. So I had all these bottles that were opened, and I'm like, I need to start. First off, I want to collect more, but I can't just have all these open bottles and trying different things. So I was like, I need to make a whiskey group. I want to share with the people who are interested in whiskey, want to try different things.
You're a problem solver.
Oh, aren't I?
You're a problem solver.
So that's what I did. I started a whiskey group, and we did our first tasting the other night. So I positioned the group. I put together a bunch of pictures of different sort of ideas of, hey, here's a type of sampling. Here's another type of sampling. Here's another sampling. So I was like, do you guys want to try a bunch of different bourbons? Did you guys want to try 3 different bourbons from the same company? Did you want to try 3 scotches? Do you want to try 3 different scotches from different areas? Or do you want to try all different, 3 different types of scotches, but they're all from the same island, that have the same taste? So the idea is putting all these together. And then the one that we landed on was, I decided to do let's try a range of whiskeys one. So instead of just being like, whatever, I'm like, why don't we try 1 rye, 1 bourbon, and 1 scotch? And that sort of gives you an idea. Yeah, just a basics entry level. Well, if you've always wondered about whiskey, here's the thing. So you asked me about, doesn't putting rocks in it ruin it or whatever. It's not. There is no like. You can't ruin whiskey. There's a YouTube channel that I really
a lot of
enjoy.
people use the. Oh, sorry to interrupt.
The Stones.
The Stones. Yeah,
that's an option.
The
so
metal
here's
balls.
Right. So because a lot of people are like, well, I want it cold, but I don't want to dilute it, and they think that the diluting is what fucks it. But here's the thing. So there's a whiskey channel that I watch on YouTube, and they have a very cool mantra, which is just, what's the best whiskey? The whiskey that you like. What's the best way to drink it? The way you like to drink it. So they're very anti-snobbery and everything like that. It's like there's no like yours is better than mine.
They just didn't want to answer the question.
Well, no, they still talk about all this stuff. Soft. They just say, generally speaking, it's not like putting ice in whiskey is wrong. It's just understand what you're doing when you put it in there. So sometimes if you want to have a whiskey on a hot day and you're like, I don't want to, I'm not sitting trying to taste all the things. I want to sip it and I like it.
It puts people off from drinking it because they're like, well, there's etiquette to this and I don't want to look like a fool.
Well, that's the thing. No part of me is like, we're going to sit down and this is the fine or something. No, it's just, we're sit down and you want to taste it. You get to taste and do whatever you want with it. Yeah. I put the water, I put the droplets, we're available to add a little water to it if you want to open it up or taste it. But the idea is it's chemistry.
Yeah.
So the idea is, and this is one of the ways it was explained to me, was when you add ice, you're burying 60 to 80% of the flavor. So if it's a very strong tasting like bourbon or something that'll stand up to the ice, or a really strong tasting scotch that'll stand up to the ice, you're still going to taste some things in it, but you are burying the flavor because your mouth is not equipped to taste extreme temperatures. You know what I mean? So very cold or very hot, you're not tasting as much. And they even said, like, why is the shittiest beer on the planet advertised as like, oh, it's got to be ice cold. Don't drink it till the mountain turns blue. You know what I mean? Because so you don't taste it. It's not that good, right? So the whole point is you can drink. Yeah,
they know that you're talking about them.
Yeah, you can drink you can drink anything cold. It's the same thing as like wine when you serve it at cellar temperature. Right. So it's like when people say like room temperature,
wine, of course, right?
White or red.
People drink
cellar
red.
Temperature isn't cold though. It's supposed to be room temperature. Now they call it cellar temperature because room temperature now is about 22 degrees Fahrenheit.
There's another.
Sorry, Celsius.
Cellar, yeah. Pickled goods. Okay.
Yeah. So the whole idea is, but the thing is like, the rule of thumb now with wine is if you're serving white wine, you take it out of the fridge 10 minutes before you serve it.
Okay.
And for red wine, you put it in the fridge 10 minutes beforehand. Right. So you don't chill red, you chill white, but if you take it right out of the fridge, the white's still gonna be colder than it should be.
Do you still serve it in the brown bag? Or?
No, it's still. And then red, of course, it's going to be too hot at room temperature, so it brings it down a little bit. But the idea is that that's how you taste it.
Messing with the bouquet.
Yeah.
See, I got to use that word again.
There you go. Well, why do you think almost everyone who likes wine, almost always starts with white? And the reason being is that the first time most people have wine, probably at an event like a wedding or something where it's already on the table, right? And the white's chilled and the red's not. Yeah. They're both going to be cheap wines, but it's nicer for someone to drink a cold alcoholic drink where they're not tasting that stuff in the wine versus the room temperature Merlot that's on the table. Usually shittier tasting. So and the whole idea is most people, right? So you're drinking, this one's cold and tastes kind of alcoholic. And this one's warm and it tastes kind of alcoholic. I like the cold one better. And people just get used to drinking white. But a lot of people, once they've started drinking wine, they move to red very quickly because red has way more taste going on in it than white.
Italians don't drink white wine. Is that true?
I wouldn't know. I don't think that's true at all. They're pretty big on Pinot Grigio over there, so I can't imagine them not drinking white.
Okay, well that's good to know.
It's so quiet you've gotten. Well, that's good. So, anyways, we can totally move on from.
I like this whiskey talk.
All I'm saying is that I did my first tasting. We did a rye, a whiskey girl.
Yeah,
what's that?
It's a song.
Oh,
did you ever hear Whiskey Girl?
No, I know Cinnamon Girl.
Cool. What is it? Toby Keith.
Oh, gross! Girl. I wouldn't know that.
Don't know Toby.
I know who he is, but why am I listening to country music?
Why not?
I don't know, because I can read.
You've never. The great thing with country music is that it doesn't matter if you've heard it once or never. You can sing along. You can always sing along to a country
because
song.
They just repeat the chorus over and over again.
It's so slow, you can figure it out. That's
it's so slow.
You're kind of you're kind of anticipating where they're going. You're like, I think he's going to talk about his dog. And you can
dog
sing. You're like, shit.
Dog, his truck, his woman, or Friday night, because Friday night's very big in country
music.
They're
in the country. What are you doing out there?
Well, it's Friday night. They just get right into it. As soon as you say Friday night, it's catnip for country monkeys.
Have you ever? Well, you were performing in the country.
Yeah, and I made fun of them for it.
Did they?
I'm going to get to that. I am still on issue number 1 on this sheet here. No apology necessary. I'm just saying. So, my friend Sean, his lovely girlfriend Megan, and Kamar, as a matter of fact, joined us for the first whiskey tasting. We did Collingwood Rye, we did Elijah Craig Bourbon, and we did a special edition Glenburgie Valentine's Single Malt 15-year Scotch.
This sounds good.
It was fun. It was fun. So, but it was just an ounce and a half over the course of like an hour and a half. So it's kind of one of those, like, I'm not pouring full glasses of this. Like, it's not about getting drunk.
Uncouth.
Yeah, it's not about, like, I tell people, like, if you want to come and get shit-faced on whiskey, that's not what I want this to be. We can sit on the back porch in the summertime and drink whiskey, and I'm cool with that. Let's get drunk and whatever. But
time and place.
In terms of the tasting part, and the thing too is I basically charge people for the tasting what it costs me out of the bottle. So I just do the math on the bottle. The bottle costs this much. There's this many ounces.
That's fair.
What's the cost? So yeah, as much as unfortunately, there's a part of me that's like, man, as a host, I'd love to just be like, come over and I'll take care of you. But it's expensive. I can't keep putting bottles on the shelf if I'm giving expensive shit away.
Donald Trump.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I wouldn't. Yeah,
you can't be handing out hamburgers.
I got to build a wall in my front yard to keep people out of my whiskey. It's my whiskey. You can't get in it. So the idea is just, you know what? They pay for what they're drinking. No markup, no profiteering. I'm a not-for-profit whiskey tasting thing. Anyways.
Come across as an NDP.
Yeah. So that's funny. So anyways, they came over. We tasted those whiskeys. We had fun shooting the shit. And of course, and I did this the second time I did a tasting too, is after we were done, I brought 1 or 2 more for us to try afterwards. No,
of your own personal.
Well, they're all of my own personal stock.
But you're not the ones you charge.
Right. No, that was the tasting. You pay for that. And then we.
So you guys hearing this? So just come over for a little bit of a taste. Put it in for the first 2 bottles and you get the second bottle free.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. So, and I brought down like more. It's funny because like the other stuff, my guys should try a little bit of this is like the more expensive shit too. I do like to share, but I got to keep the collection alive because I can. It's very easy.
Glenfiddich's a whiskey, isn't it?
It is. It's a Scotch.
Bushmills.
Irish. Yeah.
I went to those 2 factories.
Did you?
Yeah.
I'm going to Scotland in February, so I'm looking forward to going to some of the ones I like.
So love it.
But this is the thing.
Candy store.
I have to mention this when I'm talking about the Wednesday night thing. So after. Again, I was a good bitch during the day. I ate well, took good care of myself. But then once we got those whiskeys in our system, everyone was like, well, I'm kind of hungry. You guys want to order something, whatever? And It's Wednesday night, probably around 11:30 or so.
And that's when you should
And-
shut it down.
Well,
Kick them out.
well, it's like, are you guys hungry? Like, what do you guys? Someone, I think Megan had asked, have you guys ever heard of a McGangbang? And I was like, what is that? And she's like, you've never heard of a McGangbang? I was like, no, I've never heard of a McGang. I'm not a big McDonald's guy. McDonald's breakfast, yes, but burgers and fries, not really. But the McGangbang is 2 sandwiches. Neither one of them I'm particularly fond of. You know what it is? You're like nodding already.
I worked at McDonald's.
So they had McGangbangs when you were. They didn't even have these sandwiches when you were young.
What do you go? You tell what a McGangbang is.
All right,
I will
somebody
confirm if
corrected
that
last
is
night,
the
so
same
you might be
thing as
talking.
Southern Ontario.
You might be talking about something that was corrected last night. So
This happens. All
this
the
is
time.
what she said. She goes, "It's a McDouble with a junior chicken in the middle of it." So
Yeah,
you
we didn't
basically
have
open it
junior
up, and
chickens,
you,
yeah.
right? You didn't have McDoubles either. You had double cheeseburgers.
Fuck, you throw a McChicken. You throw
Yeah,
a McChicken in the
Big
middle of
Mac.
a Big Mac, and
Yeah, that's what they said last night at the
real
McDonald's, which, by the way, last night was
Gangbang.
not Wednesday. So I'm getting to that point. So she's like, "Oh, you never had them. You need to get them." So we sent Kamar. Kamar graciously offered. He volunteered to go get McDonald's.
Told you to fuck
So
off
he
and
came
went,
back.
right?
He came back. Yeah, he came back and he was hammered too. So he came back with.
So you ran there.
Yeah, exactly.
Uber,
But,
Uber.
Yeah, he Ubered. So he went to get the McGangbang essentials. So he got a McDouble and a junior chicken for everybody.
He legitimately
But then he
went,
came back
wow.
with he brought 2 boxes of fries
Yeah.
and 20 McNuggets. So we just were fat fucks after that meal. Fucks who are
Cash
fat.
cow.
It was a whole.
Was it good? Yes.
Yeah, dude.
Fucking
It was. I mean, well, it was the size of a Big Mac.
Yes.
But we took the buns too. So it wasn't like, oh, let's remove those unnecessary buns. This was all 4 bun slices in here.
Dying, eh? You can get the carbs in there too.
Yeah. And here's the thing. And I'm very
Sugar.
ashamed of myself, but I've had 4 of those since.
Since. Why would you be
So
ashamed?
yeah, it's 6 days later, which means that at least 2 of them were yesterday.
I was gonna say, let's go afterwards.
Oh, dude, it's so brutal. So yeah, so the thing was,
Nothing wrong with this. I don't.
when
you're beating yourself up,
as I tell
don't
the
understand.
listen, as I tell the rest of my week, I will pepper in the moments that I had.
This is good
McGangbangs.
because I am interested to see the spacing.
Yeah.
What's KFC? Did the KFC have the heart
They had
attack
that.
killer?
They had that. What do they call it? The double
Chicken-
down or
chicken double
something.
down.
It was gross. I tried one once, and I'm like, that's just gross. And it was just 2 pieces of chicken with bacon in the middle. So really, it's not. It's not like, oh, look at all this shit. It's like
cut the bun out.
2 little pieces of chicken and a bacon in the middle with a piece of cheese. You're like,
Healthier,
okay.
wasn't it? Because cut the bun out.
Yeah, exactly.
So you get rid of the
It's
carbs.
what's that thing? Have
you had a
keto? It's
turducken?
keto friendly. Yeah.
Have you had a turducken?
No turducken.
Turducken? Have you had
No
a turducken?
turkey duck chicken.
Have you never had that?
No.
Oof.
It's good.
Well, the duck.
Do they take the meat and stuff the meat, just the meat in? Because you're slicing it, you're gonna have carcasses in all of them.
No, the whole. You gotta get a big American turkey, and they'll take it. They'll take a chicken.
Right,
and a
but
duck.
I'm saying that when you're carving, you almost have to pull the other one out because you're carving. There's still carcass around it. You're not going to just slice, take bone and gristle and everything.
If you got a chainsaw, why not? I mean,
If you have a chainsaw, you're
Well,
still
having a
eating the meat.
turducken. You
when
only
put
have
it
a turducken when you're out tailgating, and it has to be deep fried. Goes in a big bucket, and then it's
horrible.
amazing. Oh no,
Yeah.
it's so good, and you inject it with Sprite too. They have all these special.
Yeah, the
chemical
fattest
toxins.
country in the world knows how to make fatty foods.
Yeah, well,
And
when
it's
in-
fuck,
when
it's
in
hard.
Rome.
I'm lucky I don't live there. I'd be dead. And I'll again over
You'd
this
be
the end of this
skinny.
week. So get this on Thursday. This is some other shit that I had to do, and I'm definitely bitching about this. This is a pain in the ass in my industry. I do a lot of promotional stuff, and I took this. They call them activations, but they're promotions. But the industry term's activation. So if I drop that word, that's what I'm talking about is the promotion. And the event that I'm doing is
You're
like
not
we're gonna be
activating
outside.
a supercell, right?
Yeah. I'm going to be in front of Loblaws restaurants, grocery stores over the course of December, different locations. And we're making these like winter wonderlands up front where we're giving away chocolate and pasta and cookies and hot chocolate and doing photo booths and all this stuff. And it's basically just big customer appreciation stuff.
Right.
Getting them excited all around the holiday season.
Come spend money.
But we had to do the training for it on Thursday. Now, I had an event booked. When I said yes to the whole month of December, I did not say yes to the 28th and a training day that day. So I was, they're telling me, oh, we got training on the 28th. Can you make it? I said, I can't. I have an event that I have to go to. And they're like, oh, well, like, oh shit, is there anything you do? I'm like, I'm sorry, but I'll have to get the training afterwards or, figure another time to train me. Well, it's really only the one event or the one training day. Like the training is mandatory. So you got to be there or else you can't do this program. So I jumped through a bunch of hoops. Sorry. Keep getting messages on my watch here. I jumped through a bunch of hoops to apologize to the company that I had previously said yes to, saying I really can't make it. I have a training for like a month-long thing. If I don't do it, I'm not on the gig. Right. Please forgive me. And they were really cool. They helped me find an alternative person to staff it. And then what ended up happening was they're like, oh, we need an iPad for that event. We're going to go purchase one from the Apple Store. Can you pick it up? We'll pay you for your time and everything like that. And I said, you know what? You guys let me bail on this thing. I'll pick it up for you for free. So I'm driving in the middle of the fucking day all the way down to Bayshore I'm trying to remember. I came from the Quebec side. I'm trying to remember why I went to Bayshore.
It's super gracious of you.
Well, they were nice to, like, in my industry, again, when you bail a couple of days out from something, like, that's not cool. They have to find someone else to staff. They have to train them to do it.
Through it. So you know.
Yeah. So I was just like, I apologize. I went and I drove to Bayshore. I picked up the iPad. I went home and I programmed the fucking thing. I had to take all the assets the next day, excuse me, and drop them off to my to the event so that the other guy who's covering for me would do it. So I jumped through a lot of hoops. I did it all for free as I'm sorry that I couldn't do this and I won't let it happen again. And then I head off to do this 4-hour training. We get there. Everything that they showed us could have been done with a lot of trainings are like conference calls. So here's like the training deck, read it. Here's all the info. We're watching the training deck on a TV.
So you're losing your shit.
I'm frustrated. And then I go, now you said there's 2 teams. There's only like 11 of us here and 7 of them. I go, where's the other? And he goes, oh, they're going to be at the next training.
Oh, fucking.
And I said, I'm sorry. And they go, yeah, it didn't work out. It didn't work out for everyone to make it to this training. So we had to schedule a second one. And I go, I was one of those people that couldn't make it to this one. They're like, yeah, don't worry. They go, yeah, don't worry about it. And I go,
did they blame you for starting that problem?
Yeah, I go,
actually, yes, Josh, you're the first one that asked for it. Then everyone heard you.
The guy was just like,
God damn it, Josh.
That's what he says to me. He goes, just don't worry about it. Just don't think about it. And I go, you have no idea the hoops that I jumped through to do this. And then the training ended up finishing early. So they're like, I go, are we getting paid for 4 to 8? And he goes, no, just 4 to 7. And I go, so not only am I not, like, I booked off this time, but I'm making less money. Yeah. So I'm like, we're making less money because we ended early. I go, I much would have rather worked that other shift where I was getting paid more money and got paid and then come to another training another time later on because it's acceptable. I go, instead, I lost that gig. I'm getting paid for 3 hours today. I did a bunch of running around in my spare time to make up. So not for you guys to listen because some people listen, they go, oh, you're just bitching on your podcast. Listen, that was a big fucking frustration this week. The amount of running around and dropping off and setting up. Because when I tried to set up the iPad, it was 2-factor authentication for their thing. So they're like, so I'm working on it at night and it just dead halts because at 1 a.m. when I'm setting it up, it's asking me, even though they gave me their Apple ID and password.
You were setting that shit up for them too?
Yeah. Well, because I had to drop it off for the next guy, right? So I wasn't going to expect him to try to program an iPad. Because we had to download content onto it. It was a ton of work for free.
Not to be nice, right?
Yeah. And I'm starting to tell companies too, like, and I've said this in the podcast before, but I've started telling companies, if you book me, you're booking me, like you reserve me for 4 hours, you're paying me for 4 hours. So just so you know, if the training ends early, you're paying me for all of it. Right.
Absolutely.
And if they go, yep, okay, cool. Then I'll book you. But yeah, that really pissed me off. Like the fact that he just sat there was just nonchalantly like, yeah, it's going to be the second training. I'm like, you fucking assholes. You fucking assholes. Anyways.
You handled it well.
It's my first time it's my first time working with this new company. The other company that I bailed on, they know me. They know I do a good job. I worked for them on Saturday doing the same event. I was supposed to do both days. Anyways, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So that was my,
That was your Thursday.
That was my Thursday. My Friday, guys, I did the event in the morning.
It was a nice day.
Black
Thursday
Friday. Yeah. Thursday was fine. Like everything else was fine.
Today's beautiful.
My buddy Jad and I actually went out and bought some whiskeys after that training.
Around on yourself.
all about whiskeys. I played some games with my buddies Mika and Mel. We just played Pandemic Legacy. My listeners have listened to me talk about it before. It was good. It was a good time. We had a blast. Did we drink that night? We drank. We always drink
Whiskey.
I had a really good and wine and beer.
You mix it up, eh?
Mix
What's
it
your
up.
beer? What's your beer?
I don't fucking know.
I don't give a shit.
I try to drink Michelob Ultra just because it's low calorie. I don't mind.
Lance
If I'm drinking, I'd rather
Isn't that what caused him the doping issues?
Michelob Ultra.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Lance
Maybe
Armstrong.
I don't what read fucking French bicyclist news expose. Lance Armstrong. He's not French, is he? French Open or something? Is that a thing?
He was at the
In
French
France,
Open,
isn't the event in France the one where they found out he was
Tour de France?
the Tour de
He won
France?
the
That's
Tour
what
de
I'm
France
thinking.
five
See, that's
times
where
in
the
a row.
French thing came to
7
mind.
times in a row.
Ah, of course.
And then they. Anyways, I'll get upset if I start talking about that.
Why? You big bike
I was
enthusiast?
a big Lance Armstrong. You know what? I've had a lot of heroes just demolished over the years. Just,
Backing the wrong horses.
that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, man, these guys are all winners. And no, they're all losers. Like Lance
They're not
Armstrong
losers,
went
though.
down. Tiger Woods went down.
But the thing is, there's
Bill Cosby went down.
everybody that people like, and that's the thing, right? Is everyone acts like, oh, it's just my heroes were the ones that were the bad ones. It's not. Nobody lives a life of absolute
Everyone's
purity.
a piece of shit.
It's not even a piece of shit. Just everybody's got their shit. And if
I
it
think
came to
everyone has
light-
a piece of shit somewhere in their life.
what's the one thing you wish would never get out?
That's a good way. That's
Ask
a good
on a
way to get
podcast.
it out. Is on a podcast.
What's the one thing you wish no one would ever find out?
I'm writing it down for.
I'm asking me.
I'm writing it down for Josh, and if he says it, it's his. Okay.
Will you write it
Pushing
down?
across the table?
There's no paper or pen in your hand.
I don't know. I don't think.
You don't have to say it. I'm just
I'm sure it's a piece of shit.
I've made uncouth jokes. I've definitely
Absolutely.
said shit like but it's one of those things too, like they talk about in society now. It's like if you just took a sentence and said this person said that, and then society like, okay.
But did you say it by accident, or were you intentionally trying to hurt people? You don't come across as a guy who says something that intentionally hurt people. Like here's an example.
Yeah,
from
probably
me.
was trying to hurt people.
Last show I did the other night.
Okay.
Get up. I start doing my bit. I'm talking about getting hammered. I'm like, who's getting, I forgot. Number one rule, ask the producer, who's the show for? It was a sober show. It was for the AA of something.
Oh, really? So you can't even
And
ask.
I was like, man, and I just kept trying to hit this drinking spot. And I was like, man. And because I don't drink, I don't
Right.
think anything of it, right? Because I love people who drink too. And I'm looking at the producer, and she's looking at me. I was like, oh, but there's another skill
Where you
set
can accidentally-
to changing gears. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is not, we're going to down gear here.
Of course.
And I'm going to change roads completely and go and reroute it real quick. And that was a good learning opportunity for me that night.
Well, and that's the thing too. Like I have definitely put my foot in my mouth accidentally 100 times.
It didn't help that I was hanging over the bar before going up, pretending I was pulling the spout of the keg.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like, "This is hilarious!" Like, look at them; they're looking at me.
And the funny thing is, like, and it's like even if you were doing an event, like, so I could do an event where I'm like, oh yeah, AA, you're not supposed to talk about it, and it's all supposed to be anti-drink, but I'm a drinker. Oops, sorry, that was just a mistake. I didn't mean to. They didn't even like realize you're like, oh, I'm in the exact same boat. Like, I totally wouldn't be touching the shit either. So how funny is that? That like none of us have any interest in this subject matter. Then here's me trying to, metaphorically speaking, force it down your throat.
I didn't even know that after the show that it was a sober show. I was able to pick up on the public cues.
Oh yeah,
there,
you're
that they were
feeling.
like, "What
You're
the
feeling.
fuck?
Why is the room avidly against
This is
this?
burning. What's this burning
Yeah.
sensation?
Yeah.
But the question is, do you pick it up and recognize it real quick and change? Which
I would
was like,
personally, I'd probably just go,
change
okay,
gears.
this is definitely an awkward subject. I just feel from you guys that me talking about. Normally you go, who's drinking? Everyone goes, ah.
But there's that other question.
But the fact
of-
that everyone is avidly against it means that there's something going on that I'm not aware of.
then there's
So I'm
that
just
old
gonna
question
go
of,
on.
is it just me?
Yeah.
Maybe they don't fucking know and I shouldn't bring it up.
No,
and I'm just going to roll.
but then sometimes someone, like if you start addressing it audibly like that and then people start nodding, I go, okay, all right, I picked up on it. All right, it's cool. So let's change. Let's
That's
talk
what I
about
did.
something else.
I nod. I picked
Anyways,
up,
I'm going to go to my
nodded,
child
kept going.
pornography ring jokes, guys. And they're like, oh,
You see
okay,
my
not that
act.
one.
You
Not
see
that
my
one
act,
either.
right?
Right? Yeah. But it's, yeah, it's just, yeah. I mean, I'm not somebody, generally speaking, that would say something to hurt something. Like I wouldn't just go, but I know that in an angry state when I was a young man, like I was capable of it. And again, it's more, I mean, I think we're all human. We've all said things to people that we're like, when you get older, you're like, wow, I wish I hadn't said that.
Yeah.
I've said and done some dumb things in my life. And I have a lot of listeners who've been present at
Yeah,
those
you've
times.
opened a couple times for me, and I think I got you on tape a couple of times.
No, it's-
MC'd.
Yeah.
A couple of my shows.
I
A couple of MCs that have really dropped some stuff that I was like, man, I could blow their career up just by
Have I said something like that
No,
recently?
not you. There's been
Oh,
other.
okay. 'Cause
No,
was
this is
gonna
like
say,
when I
I don't
first
think I've ever
started.
said
There
anything
was
horrible on
because you
stage.
set your camera up and then you go on stage, so you always catch the end of the MC's introduction, and some of the stuff that I'm like, wow, that was just. I was out there, right?
Yeah.
Sink some careers. So.
Oh yeah,
They're
and
in
I
the file.
and the funny thing is, like I was
Halo.
talking with the comics last night on the show. Is nobody cares about
Who
Intense.
were you on last night with?
Matt Watson was hosting. Chris Gordon was headlining. It was myself, Trevor Thompson, and a guy called Tom Hills.
Good line.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
I was prepared to bomb, and I didn't do well. I was doing all new
Doing
stuff.
all this stuff, eh?
I was doing all new
Good.
stuff, but it was more like just talking. It was. Oh, I told them on stage. I said I'm prepared to bomb, just so you guys know.
You can't do this. Cheating. You can't tell
No,
them
I
that
was
you're
like
doing
4
new
minutes.
stuff.
I didn't say. I didn't tell them it was new.
I'm prepared to bomb.
I didn't
I'm
tell
here
them
to
it was
shit
new.
The fucking bed.
No, and I didn't.
nuts.
I didn't open it. I was thinking about it. And I go,
pancake.
should I tell them that I'm prepared to bomb just so they don't feel like they get to judge? But I'm like, I was like 3-4 minutes in where I was like, I'm talking about this stuff, and I could see them like some of them were like listening, some of them were like cringing, like, oh, where's this going?
Good. You're getting a reaction at least.
Right. And I just said, I go, you guys can laugh if you want, or you can cringe. Don't try to second guess where it's going. I'm going to talk about this no matter what.
Good.
I'm prepared to bomb. So if you don't like it, cool. I'm still telling you about it. So I go, you can try to convince, you can try to make me uncomfortable. I'm not uncomfortable. I'm going
Come
to say
for
it
the
no matter
fucking
what.
riot or don't. I don't
Yeah,
give a
and that's what I
shit.
told them. I go, I'm prepared to bomb, so don't feel like you have to worry for me. I'm saying it no matter what.
Set bits, right?
Right? So, anyways, I don't know what the fuck we were talking about before that, but if people found that or stuff, I think heroes go down all the time. It happens, but it's more just that people
Do
have
you
heard.
find that society seems very fixated? They become very Irish that way. They want to tear everyone down. Do you ever hear that, the old saying?
Well, aren't you the one who told me people who can't control their emotions want to control other people's behavior?
Yeah, I think that sounds smart. So I read that somewhere for sure.
Oh yeah, nothing I say intelligent that I didn't create it myself.
Hey, that was a good bit though. Yeah.
But that's the thing. So it's
True.
it's not that like, oh, we want to tear everyone else down. It's that you got your own shit, and it's easier to. It's like giving someone advice, right? That old saying, "Take my advice, I'm not using it." It's easier to tell everybody else how to live their lives and this and that than to just go and fix your own. And that's the thing. The what is it? The smallest
To fix
dogs.
your own, you can't be paying attention to anyone else around you.
Right. Right. But it's just you have to look your own shit and go, oh wow, what am I doing? Nobody
What was
wants
the
to
dog
look
bit?
inward.
The small dog.
The smallest dogs always bark the loudest. So the people who are always telling everybody else what to do and this and that, to me, they're the people who are weak of character and things like that. Like nobody who's ever accomplished anything of significance, like you're not listening to CEOs saying my key to success was to whining was to whine about what everyone else got, to complain, to constantly say I don't have it as good as everyone else. Nobody's giving me anything.
You just hit
bitch
it on
and
the
complain.
head.
Sorry?
You just hit it on the head.
Yeah.
It's all character. There's no character base. There's no focus
People
on
are like,
character anymore. It's
we
personality.
can't get ahead because this and that. We can't do that. Listen, the people who are successful go, I'm going to work with what I can control. I'm going to have advantages and disadvantages. I'm going to maximize the advantages. I'm going to try to minimize the disadvantages. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to persevere, and I'm not going to worry about what other people are doing. The weak people, and I'm sorry if you're one of them, I have been one at times and I still struggle with it at times, but the weak people are the ones who are worried about what everyone else is getting and well, I don't get it because I'm this. There's and I don't know, whatever. It's like they
You don't get it because you're a piece of
the weak
shit.
white
You
men
ain't
who are like,
working
oh,
on it.
white men don't have a chance right now. You know what? Right now, we're not a popular box to check,
white
and that's
guys?
fine.
Oh, yeah. I think it's the white guys that have the biggest problem with not being popular.
Yeah, but that's what I'm
It's driving
saying.
white guys nuts not being. What do
But
you
I'm
mean
just
not
saying we're a
cool?
dime a dozen. So yeah, the fact that we're not the commodity right now,
Or should we?
you know what I mean? Sorry.
I'm loving it. I love it. I love.
I was just going to say McDonald's thing. We're the McDonald's, and right now people have realized they can eat healthier. There's other things on the menu, so they're mad. Going,
Everyone
well,
loves
wait a second.
McDonald's when they're drunk.
Wait a second. Right. I'm just saying we're a classic for a reason, but
Hey.
all I'm saying is that people will whine about what they don't have, or will try to tear someone else down. Because if you can't succeed, if you can't move up, the easiest thing to do is rather than bring yourself up, is to try to bring other people down, and that's all it is. At the end of the day, just whatever. I've said this before on the podcast. My listeners have heard me say it. All I know is at the end of the day, don't
Man,
sit around. At least
I
people
hate Taylor Swift. Like,
do. Yeah,
fuck, I hate.
do you?
I don't
She
know.
just got a 10. I watched Kamar was
like
working
the
on
drama.
his craft the other day.
Craft. Is that what he calls it now?
No, he doesn't call it anything. Kamar comes
still
home
not
and sits in
calling
front of the
it
TVs for 6 hours.
Hey, you got to learn. You can learn a lot watching TV.
I'm just busting his balls. But he was
is that?
watching
Is he
the
still in
Grammy.
He's at
I don't
work.
know. No, he's not here. His car's not in the driveway.
He's got a car?
Yeah.
Fuck you. Fuck. This is a baller house. You guys all have cars.
Simon doesn't. Simon has a bicycle that he doesn't know how to use.
He's close to work though, right?
Maybe. Yeah, there's been here's the thing. There's been let's call it drama for the white women. There has been drama in the house this week for Simon and Kamara, and it's not my place to talk about it, so I won't. But if they give me permission, I was hoping they would be here and we could have them do little guest spots. I'll tell you later, but it's not my place to share.
It's
with
not
the
like
world.
a visit without Kamara dropping in for a guest spot,
right?
Like there's no mic involved
Well,
half the time.
You
But
never know. We've still got a lot to talk about, so there's plenty of time for him to still drop in.
I'll be so excited.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, there's that stuff.
We don't need
But Kamar
him,
was
though.
watching Taylor's the Grammys or the VMAs or whatever the fuck it is, and Taylor Swift was getting a 10-year achievement award or something like that. Just that's what made me think of it when he said you hate Taylor Swift. So, bought more whiskeys.
Was he
Blah
excited
blah blah
about
blah
that?
blah. I don't know. I don't care. He watched the whole
watching it,
thing,
so
so
he's
must have
enjoying
been.
it.
But that's another one. I'm gonna bust Kamar's balls about that someday, but
Taylor
not on the
Swift.
podcast. Yeah, I'm not gonna blow him up on the podcast. He's my buddy. But yeah, we were talking about people doing things, right? Or it's like, well, am I not getting head? It's like, well, you know what? I'm gonna do something adjacent. My mother does this, and I love my mom very much, but my mom works hard at work, and then she comes home and she has tasks that she does, but I'll be like, oh, did you call that thing that you need? It's like a 5-minute phone call. Oh no, I was really busy. I didn't get a chance to do it. I've been so crazy. And you're like, okay. And then I'll talk to her the next day and she's like, oh, you know what I really like? There's this new show on YouTube called blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I watched all 13 episodes yesterday. I'm like, oh,
Dun dun dun.
so you had time to watch 13 episodes of this, but you didn't make that 5-minute phone call. And there is a plethora of people who are too busy to do something for themselves, and I never had time to do this, and I don't have time to do that, and
nothing.
I can't get ahead, and I really work hard. It's like, yeah, or you sit around and watch TV all the time. It's
Creatures
one
of
of
procrastination,
one or the other.
Yeah.
But anywho, so whatever. We're not going to change the world. Never am. So show and run through. I'll tell you what my experience was on Saturday. Unless you had a question.
No, I'm excited to hear.
Okay,
about this.
so my buddy Jason Harper, if you're familiar with Jason Harper, Harper and I go to do this show. We were being two old white guys in the car on the way up. We were just talking about
I love the rides up.
yeah, we're just talking about.
You get the show, you're like, the show could be okay. I enjoyed the ride.
We were just joking about the things we're watching on Netflix. He told me about the movie. He's like, "Do you ever watch The Toys That Made Us?" I'm like, "Yeah, I watched all of them. They're great."
Okay.
And he's like, "There's one now on called The Movies That Made Us," and it's like I think they had Dirty Dancing, Home Alone, Ghostbusters, and Die Hard were the 4 movies that they did.
Christmas sounds like Christmas to me.
Yeah, kind of. I don't know about Dirty
Hard was on
Dancing.
the other night.
Ghostbusters and Dirty Dancing are Christmas.
Yeah, I think they've slid into Christmas slots somehow. Anyway, sorry.
Ghostbusters has slid into Christmas slots.
Ghostbusters is on all the fucking time. One or two.
Yeah.
Is 3 the one with all the ladies?
They don't even call it Ghostbusters 3. That was supposed to be a reboot.
What is that?
And it failed miserably. 3 is coming out next year.
Oh, it will be 3, but the
3 is coming out.
Did you
and
see
it's
the one
original cast with Jason Reitman, Ivan Reitman's son, directing it. The son of the guy who directed the
I
first
really
two.
hope the fuck he
ones.
channels him. I hope he can channel him because it'll be great if he can.
Oh yeah, and his dad's executive producer on it as well. So they're working on it together. But it's
Will
Dan
they work him a
Aykroyd, Bill
cameo?
Murray, and Egon or whatever Winston Ernie Hudson because Harold Ramis is dead. So
yes. Oh, that makes me cry too.
yeah, well it's coming out. Yeah, well he didn't touch anybody before he died that we know of. They went after John Wayne at one point. Like they tried to go back and they're like, yeah, John Wayne said these. It's like,
racist.
oh, you mean a guy 60 years ago said something a guy 60 years ago would say? Interesting.
It's let's focus on today. Let's stop worrying about the dead.
It's
guys.
so like it's just
Especially
trying to tear
dead
down
white
people.
guys.
But anyways, so the show went through. Jay and I went up. We were talking about the movies. We were talking about. We were just doing some shit. And I don't want to tell the conversation not because I'm worried about getting in trouble, but because I'm working on it as a bit. So I don't want my bit in its infancy to get ruined or to inspire other people to go a different direction with it.
Fucking comics. They're so afraid of my genius getting out.
Nah, it's not
Someone
genius.
using my genius. No, I hear you. I totally respect that.
It was just funny. We were talking about
I'm trying to read your notes.
some of this
right
stuff
now,
too.
but, yeah.
Oh, I didn't write anything. No, I just wrote show and reference. So we're going up for this event, and apparently it's 5 different contracting companies like foundation and concrete, and it's a lot of like
good eclectic
framing stone type.
So they're all smoking darts, drinking beers.
Pretty much. There was one guy. So we show up and we start setting up. The band there was pretty cool. They let us use a lot of their sound and lights. Or sorry, not lights, but sound.
You guys
sound
have to go up
systems.
after a band?
No, before.
Oh,
before.
Like this is like an original comedy show. Like you're going up to warm up.
But we just got there. There's a band. Like,
fantastic.
well, this is apparently a company does very, very well. And the restaurant was really cool. They were bringing out food constantly all night long. So they were taking good care of everybody. And big, not that they listen to the podcast, but a big shout out to Jen and Derek who had us up. They were the ones who hired us. They were very, very good to us. We had a good time. Fed us, got us drinks, everything like that. They were outstanding. But it was blue collar. And everyone there was wearing like the nicest dressed person was wearing, I was going to say plaid on everybody, but the nicest person dressed was like a single colored button up shirt. And there were very few of those guys there. The next best dressed and most average was plaid button ups.
Nice.
And then there was other people walking around just in t-shirts looking like trash. One guy had a shirt that said, "I don't trust a fart in my face." I don't even know what that means.
Did you have a conversation with
This was his Christmas party going out with the significant others. Like the women were dressed beautifully. The ladies looked gorgeous that night. They were, well, small town gorgeous, guys. But I'm just saying that they were dressed nice. Small town gorgeous. Hey there, Goober. No, but I'm just saying
Valley is turning off right now.
I'm saying the verse. Yeah, watching the American Video Awards, the women on that show were dressed to the. But these women, no, they were dressed nice. They were wearing nice dresses. They'd done their hair. They'd done their makeup. They looked very nice. They looked like they were going out to a Christmas party. And then their stupid significant others or boyfriends or whatever were showing up in t-shirts with "Who farted" on their shirt, or "I don't trust a fart in my face" shirts and plaid and Budweiser hats. Like just didn't look like fucking. It's so stupid. You think once a year kind of dress up for your Christmas party. Like, the bosses were dressed
at least
nice.
Put a hat on that you didn't get out of a beer box.
Right?
Like go the extra 10 feet.
They were all very kind. So Jay and I, we worked. That was a bit of a work show.
They're good people.
Yeah. Well, the restaurant was set up like half and half. So the half that we had the showroom in, the other half was like the food and the bar and everything like that. And it was, unfortunately, we had to compete with all the people talking on the one side of the room. So even though we had a mic and speakers, it was work to get through them. But they enjoyed the show. Yeah. We hung out for probably like an hour or two afterwards, just Jay and I sitting there having a conversation. I want to have him on the podcast because he told me some stories. I'm like, yeah, I got to share these stories with people. So Jay will be a guest in the podcast soon. But we sat, we had fun. Oh, P.S. Before the show started, directly next to the Flamingo restaurant where we were performing, McDonald's. So once we got the stuff set up, walked over, gangbang number 2 of the week. Okay, the McGangbangs number 2.
Well, that just had to happen.
I assembled it myself in the restaurant, quietly like a gargoyle. They fed us after the show, but I was like, I hadn't eaten all day, so I'm like, all right, I got to fucking eat this gangbang here. Like a dirty.
So you assembled. Are you at the point where you're telling them to assemble it?
I had asked them to assemble it there. They said no, they can't do that. And I said, fine, give it to me. I'll give it myself. I don't know. But they said no.
Fine. Don't put the
I think I may have had 5 this week. I feel like I had another one at a different time. Or I just really wanted one and didn't get it.
How close are you to McDonald's from here?
5 minute that way. Well, there's Maitland. That one's drive-through. Or if I want to get out of the car, which I don't, there's the one in Bronson over by Glebe.
Oh, that's right. They don't have a drive-through there. How are they still open?
I do not like going into a McDonald's.
No, there's something about it.
I just don't like seeing all the Uber Eats guys standing there waiting for the pickups. The amount of people who will order it to their door. McDonald's has a shelf life. You can't fucking take it home and wait for it.
It doesn't have a shelf life. You can put a hamburger on a shelf for a year and a half.
But what I'm saying is they don't taste good after.
Doomsday.
You know, the McDonald's fries don't last. You got like 15, 20 minutes to eat them or they're done. They're just gross.
You can't even heat them up.
Yeah. No, there's something.
That's why they
turn back into cardboard.
They don't work with Putin that way.
No,
they're not holding up to the Putin movement.
Putin.
Well, yeah.
In Kanata?
It's Kanata and Putin and Kanata. Is it Putin? What is it?
Putin.
Is it Putin?
Putin. What did you say? Putin.
Putin.
What did you say?
I've been getting all like, wow, it's Putin.
Putin. Put in the oven, my Putin. That's what it sounds like you're saying. But so did the gangbang. We went back. We had drinks afterwards. We had some food, shot the shit. Great night. Great time. Came back, dropped all the shit off at the club. 12:30.
That's pretty
But we had a
good,
good time.
actually.
We had a good. It was
The
like,
shows always wrap up decent time there, right? It's not
well,
too bad.
the show was at like 7:30.
Yeah,
we
those are
finished
great.
at like started 7:30. Finished at.
There's 3 of you.
Maybe we started at 8. I think we might have started closer to 8, just because we were trying to make sure everyone got in there. We got tables and chairs, but we were done like around 9. But we didn't leave until like 11. We were having fun afterwards, just having some drinks, shooting the shit with people. Jay was telling me stories. We were just having a nice convo, so it was a good time.
Absolute.
The band was
Kinda
good, too.
runs that way too, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, people don't always stay for like 2 hours after a show. Mostly staff.
Fair enough.
But this was Christmas party was still going. I had one McGangbang the whole day, so. I had food. We had like snacks and desserts afterwards and beers.
There's no reason to go home yet.
Right?
They're feeding
Well,
you.
Jay and I were talking. I was like, he's like, well, I'm just going home to the wife. So, whatever you want. You want to stay or you want to? I was like, all right, well, let's stay out. You got an
This is
excuse
all
to stay out.
borrowed time at this point.
Yeah, let's stay out, buddy. If you're having fun, let's stay out.
And it was a paid gig too, right?
Hey, of course, yeah, I drive to Renfrew for free.
That's awesome.
Sorry, Renfrew. As much as I'd love to visit you for nothing,
I'll do you for free,
spend the
Renfrew.
gas.
I
Would
love
you?
Oh, I love Renfrew. I'll do
Do
it.
you?
If it's a charity gig, I'll do it. No problem.
Right, but you're not going to just drive to Renfrew to drive to Renfrew.
That's the thing with the Renfrew. There's usually a charity gig attached to most of the gigs. There's got to be a reason for them, I guess.
I think the charity
We're
gig is
raising
all the women
money for
fucking those
Bob.
goobers out there.
Raising money for Bob. He's got to get his horse shoed.
Do they have horses? I don't think they have
Fuck yeah,
horses.
they love horses out there.
So get this.
They
I
eat
think
horses out there, don't they?
maybe.
Maybe.
I know that I was chasing more whiskey. Oh, Sunday night. I'll tell you the Sunday night whiskey tasting. We did I had Logan from the club and my buddy Mark came over.
Nice.
We tasted 3 Glenlivets, all the same whiskey, but they're from a series called the Nadura. So each whiskey is aged in a different type of barrel. So even though the spirit is the same, the barrel profile is strong. So you basically get to taste what the barrel does to the whiskey in each different one. So we did that Sunday night. We did not eat garbage, though I did want to.
Would you have?
Sorry?
Would you?
I
wash it all down with?
just had snacks here. I think I had like a fucking. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I believe I did have chips. But that was yeah. I was going to go to McDonald's. I'm like, no, be a good bitch.
This is
Just
your
have a
inner
snack
dialogue.
in here. Oh yeah. Oh fuck yeah. Because I'm like, I can't just be keeping eating these McGangbang things. I may have even got one of the other nights this week on my way back from.
You
one of
don't
the
even
activations.
remember it.
I don't remember. I feel like it happened, but I don't remember. I'm not confident. However, yesterday. And the guys loved the tasting on the Sunday too. They had a great
You
time.
know, you're eating so many of them. When you shit, you should even know. What the fuck that was. Yeah,
Dude, my shit today.
yeah,
I'll tell you the
that's
story.
what it was. It was a
So
McGangbang.
many sesame seeds from the buns, I believe.
Miss Hedberg all over the place. Yeah,
So yesterday I had to do the show at Moose
you
McGuire's.
can't digest it. It's like corn, right?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, it's something to do with the protein. The fiber in it is undigestible. But so yesterday I had a show. I was doing work during the day, and then I was like, okay, I got the show tomorrow night at Moose McGuire's. And I'm like, before, I can't remember what the fuck I was doing. I had to go out and get something. And then on my way back, I'm like, I'm going to go to McDonald's because free fries. Apparently the Raptors, the hat you're wearing, we the champs. They scored 3 goals or something, or 3 baskets, so 3 3-pointers or 10 3-pointers or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
Well, you get free fries from McDonald's. So I'm like, okay, I got to run my hair. I'm like, I haven't eaten. I'm going to get some fries on my way home. And then I'm like, I'm doing the McGangbang. I'm going through. I'll pay the $4 for the,
They got
the
you.
burgers.
They got you.
I definitely did the McGangbang. But here's the thing.
Fry ain't costing them
But
nothing.
here's the thing. So I hadn't eaten again. I may have had oatmeal in the morning, but I get the McGangbang and my free fries. Come home, assemble it.
Small fry.
Okay, it's medium. You get a
that's
free
decent.
medium fries.
That's a very good deal.
So fries and 2 little sandwiches. I do the junior. I don't do the Big Mac and the fucking
Yeah, you're
full
reasonable.
McChicken. Well, I'm not reasonable. I'm an animal, but at least it's less quantity. That's how I justify it because the story gets worse.
Go home.
So I eat this shit. I go pick up Chris Gordon, the headliner. We drive. We're shooting the shit on the way out to Orleans, laughing, making each other fucking. Yeah, we're having a good fucking ride out there. Do the show. I see Matt Watson.
Yeah.
Gets there. Matt presents me with his mother's red pepper jelly. She knew I was going to be on the show with them, so she sent me the red pepper jelly. Thank you so much, Sue Watson.
I think she loves you more than him.
Well, maybe. Well, he has access to it whenever he wants. So I'll tell that
Doesn't
story.
appreciate it, probably.
I'll tell that story. I'm doing something with them for the holiday season in a little bit. But Matt presents me with the red pepper jelly, which, by the way, I hate red peppers. I hate a lot of vegetables,
So why
but
did you
peppers
take it?
are
Just
ones
to
that I
be
just don't
polite?
like. No, because the first time I had red pepper jelly, I expected it to taste like red peppers. It doesn't. It's just like sweet jelly with red pepper flakes in it. So I was like, okay, well, and this was good. It's like a little bit of a sweet, spicy kind of thing. When Matt brought it over the first time, we had it with cream cheese and crackers. So the jelly, the cream cheese, amazing.
Not Triscuits though.
No.
Okay, good.
No, I don't even know what those are. That's shredded, flattened, shredded wheat, right?
A poor man's shredded wheat.
Right. So we had did the show. I said this. The jokes I was going to say. Chris and I had some laughs on the way back. And on the way back, I'm like, "Are you hungry?" Because again, I mean, as much as I've had a McGangbangs, you don't get this fat and not get hungry more than once a day. And this was now hours later. So he's like, "Yeah, I could eat." Yeah. So at that moment, I got another free fries from the Quebec coupon. They just let me have it. They're like, "Oh,
what time you got something from Quebec?"
Right. So I got more free fries and I ordered another. I asked them, I go, "You guys know what a McGang-"
And they were real French fries.
Yeah. Well, McDonald's French fries.
You got them Quebec.
I got them at Bronson, but it was a Quebec coupon that's only good in McDonald's in Quebec. And they
took it. They accepted it.
Yeah. Mobile coupon. They're like, it's for Quebec, but whatever. I was making them laugh.
Accept that distinction.
So they took that. And I said, "Can I?" And I looked at the young girl behind the counter. I go, "This is going to sound like a weird question, but I'm being serious. Do you know what a McGangbang is?" And she's like, "No." But then the guy behind the counter with her goes over, "Yeah, it's a McChicken stuffed in a Big Mac." And I go, "Okay, well, I haven't heard of that. That's way more food."
The bun and all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I said, "I haven't heard of that. I know it as a McDouble with a junior chicken in it." And he's like, "Well, we can do that too. But the real one is the big one." I go, "First off," and I said this to Megan on Wednesday when she introduced me to this burger that's going to be the death of me. I said, I take issue with it, with two burgers being called a gangbang, because a gangbang is not two people. And I go, in fact, if you even added a third sandwich to that, it would be a McThreesome. Gangbangs, in my opinion, need to be at least 4 or more human beings. So, well, not human beings, but 4 or more participants, right?
3.
If two, you don't say, "Oh, I went home last night and gangbanged my wife." It was 2 of you, right?
You're a motherfucker, but yeah.
I had a gangbang the other night. What was it? Me and 2 chicks. Oh, it's a threesome, right? Gangbang's got to be 4 or more. So 2 fire.
We're close together.
It's
French. When
2 official languages.
Bilingual podcast.
Right. So all I'm saying is that I feel like 4 or more. But I was just saying, McGangbang, whatever you guys want to call it, I need that. So they're like, I go, "Can you guys assemble it for me?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, do you want it with the buns in?" I go, "Yeah, absolutely."
2 midget nuggets in it.
But here's the thing. You think my second fry of the day, my second McGangbang of the day would be enough.
No.
I was like, 2 breakfast sandwiches for $5. Do it. And
I need them maybe tomorrow.
And I go, "I'll take 1 bacon, 1 sausage McMuffin."
You're balancing your product.
McGangbang them too. Oh, that's what I said. Yeah. So I had a.
Why did you get a McGriddle then?
I had because you don't get them at 11 p.m.
Oh, well, that's
so I told them to McGangbang that shit. So I had 2 English muffins, two eggs.
I love how you corrected me so quickly and kept on with your story. You can't get them at 11.
Can't get them at 11 o'clock. Like, what are you getting, man? You've lived a life. So anyways, yeah. So I came home last night. So, and Chris got like 20 nuggets and he's like, "Feed me nuggets." I'm like, "No, I have these 2 giant sandwiches I have to eat right now."
Breakfast.
So I dropped him off at the condo. I came back. I was almost finished the second sandwich. So I finished the fries. Yeah. I'm almost finished. The breakfast sandwich was taller. They wrapped it, dude. It was 6 inches tall. It was so fucking thick.
They didn't even put it in a cardboard box.
Wouldn't fit.
Big Mac box.
Yeah. It wouldn't fit.
It wouldn't fit in that either.
No, they had like up, boom,
Mac, no.
like that, and then like put a sticker on it to keep it closed. So yeah, it was big. And
MacGyver was in.
I'm finished the fries. I'm finished the junior McGangbang, and I'm halfway through the breakfast sandwich, and I feel terrible.
But you're not quitting.
I mean, maybe I was like 2/3 of the way through the sandwich, but I'm like, I'm full. I do not feel well.
Belly caught up.
And I go, this is fries, and this is 4 sandwiches. Chris sends me a text message.
Yeah.
Right as I'm like having this, I've made a terrible mistake. He sends me a text message and says, "I regret everything." And I think I try to remember how the conversation went. So he goes, I think he said, "Yeah, holy fuck, we talked a lot."
They got new barbecue sauce.
He goes, "I regret it all." I go, "Yeah, dude, I was just about to text you. I ate fries and the equivalent of 4 burgers. I deserve to die." I was like, I can't believe that I'm going to go upstairs and expect my body to process all this, my heart to actually show up for work the next day. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, this is horrible. That was a horrible, horrible week.
No, it sounds wonderful to me. But
No,
I mean, you know what would have made it enjoyable if you didn't beat yourself up the whole fucking time. You know you're gonna eat that shit. Just eat it and fucking like it.
We were
Stop worrying about it.
Yeah, we were driving.
Damn it.
We were driving to the gig last night, and I was telling him about the current acronym for LGBT. I'm like, it's LGBTTIQQ2SA, and he's like, which Super Bowl is that? It's so fucking funny. We were having so much fun last night. Yeah, we just had.
You did new stuff.
He didn't feel good afterwards. I didn't feel good because I think he got sandwiches
the
too.
food,
and
not the
fries.
comedy. The food. Was
Yeah,
what
no,
made you
we
feel
felt
Then you're fine.
gross about the food. I had minimum four
Okay,
McGangbangs.
here's a question.
2 of them yesterday, past the hour of 6 p.m.
But see, do you not think that maybe is a problem with the comedy scene that we're going to McDonald's? Like, shouldn't there be like a watering hole to go to for comics?
Like a salad bar.
Not a salad bar, like a restaurant that people could go to, comics can go to just to...
Well, there's Denny's and Elgin Street Diner and stuff like that. I mean, they exist, but I'm fundamentally against.
Right.
You know what it is? It's the cheap cost. Like, so for me, like I wasn't a big McDonald's guy, but if it
I'm
was
poor, that's why I eat McDonald's. Like the coupon book is my Bible.
yeah,
Like I'm even into the Happy Meals. Like I'm like, yeah.
they still make those.
Oh fuck yeah. Happy
That's
Meals?
a small fry and a cheeseburger.
God, it could be anything. Get an apple nowadays.
Gross.
You want an apple? I'm like,
Well, I'm not. Yeah, but you're not.
there, kid?
I'm
Apple
not paying
milk.
$5.
People
So
get apple milk and a cheeseburger. I'm like, what are you doing here, kid?
apple milk and a cheeseburger. And what is it? $5?
It's milk and a cheeseburger. Yeah, something. I don't know.
Yeah,
what
that's
it was.
stupid.
It's coupon. I always get a coupon. I'm not getting it full price, man.
I just know that my thing too is, like I said, I'm not a big fast food like burgers and stuff guy.
Yeah.
I don't dislike them.
Just
I know it's bad for me.
Yeah.
But one of the worst ones that gets me is like when it's like midnight and I'm like, well, I'm hungry. I just finished working. Everything's all done, and I haven't eaten. I'm hungry. I gotta eat.
And
I don't
it's
have to,
Ottawa,
but I'm
so-
going to. And I'm like, pizza. They're dirt cheap $6 fucking pizzas,
Yes.
and I will crush the whole fucking thing.
You can get a whole pizza for like $6, right?
Yeah.
Large.
Yeah.
One topping.
I think I'll do. I do like they'll have like an $8 special where it's like 2 toppings and you get the dip or whatever. Medium. I have to go medium because if I get a large, I will crush the large. If I get the extra large, I will crush the extra large. So I have to.
Do you think that impacts Preston Street, like in terms of their comics that go there? Because there's nowhere to go, like a dirty restaurant to go,
I
like
don't
a
think so.
McDonald's or a pizza. Like,
Nah,
because
it's right up. It's like 4 blocks up Bronson.
4 blocks is a long way for a comic.
Well, if it's
That's a
midnight and there's no
long
buses,
way.
you know they're driving. Somebody's going to drive somebody.
Block everywhere.
The amount of people who've offered to buy me McDonald's if I drove them to it afterwards, and I'm just like, can't do it, man. I go, great offer. I can't eat that shit. But apparently now that there's a McGangbang, I'm a big fat fuck, and fuck who's fat, and I have to, you
Own
know.
it.
Yeah, so
You like it, though.
I gotta cut them out. No, I gotta cut them out. That breakfast sandwich was dope, though. I might,
You
I
might
will
keep
not.
that in the rotation.
Well, I feel like eggs and McMuffin.
$5, right, for
And,
2?
Yeah, I feel like eggs and an English McMuffin, English
Tim
muffin.
Hortons has that too, don't they? 2
Yeah,
for $5.
is it 2 for $5?
They
I
were
don't feel.
screwed
I
up
just.
that.
I know it's real eggs at McDonald's. I don't know. It's probably real eggs at Tim Hortons, but it's a real egg. It's not like an egg
No,
paddock.
it's
They
an
crack an
absolute
egg, and
egg.
that's good. I got one the other day that had the shell still in it. A big piece of fucking shell.
Was it thin? Because it's usually thin shells.
Sorry, I guess. I don't know. All I know is that you crack the egg, and it's not like a little piece of shell that you might have
poached.
missed. This fucking big, dude. Larger than the size of like
just
one of your
didn't
front
give a
teeth.
fuck.
So I'm like, yeah, you didn't miss that when that fell.
care. Don't
Just
care.
Didn't give a fuck.
Don't care. They probably won't come back. Who cares? McDonald's.
let's kill their
Someone else
families.
Fill the spot.
So yeah, that was my week. McGangbangs, whiskey tastings, shows,
Booze, comedy,
and
food.
yeah, the booze collection. I went to a few different places. I picked up 3 different bottles of Knob Creek this week. I got Knob Creek, Single Barrel, and I got Knob Creek Rye. Some more Wild Turkey Rare Breed, Wild Turkey 101.
Well, turkey.
Some,
I recognize
some
that.
bottles of some bottles of Lafroig, bottle of Auchentoshan.
Auchentoshan sounds
Yep.
like mouthwash.
Highland Park 12. What else did I get?
Highland Park 12. Isn't that the group that Trump sent to prison?
Lincoln Park? I don't know.
Lincoln Park 12. Is it?
Is there a group called Highland Park 12 that Trump sent to prison?
I don't know. That guy is.
Yeah, he picked some fucking weird things. I'm trying to think of yeah, whatever, it doesn't matter. I picked up whiskey. We're boring people at the hour and 20 mark right now. So
Yeah, definitely. Sorry, folks.
No, I'm just teasing. So I'm going to move right into the sponsors.
I'm reading this.
Yeah. Well, first ones first is always Absolute Comedy. There is shows all the time at Absolute Comedy. As I mentioned, I'm recording my album. So get your tickets now. They are available on the website. Just make sure you book for January 24th or 25th at the Ottawa Club. Recording my album. 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday. Looking forward to that. And I'm working on sprucing up all the material I have to make it as good as possible for you guys so you get to enjoy the shows when you're there. Yeah.
Quiet heckle.
Yeah, quiet heckle. I dare you to fucking heckle me.
Green heckling.
That would be terrible, actually. You're trying to fucking record and people are or whatever.
We're gonna be right down front. Mean all the time.
I'm trying to think too. There's good shows coming up. Well, whatever. It's the holiday season, guys. So just check out absolutecomedy.ca. You will see good shows there. There's stuff all the time. Ottawa, Toronto, and Kingston clubs.
Absolute Comedy is the best live stand-up comedy from across North America, with locations in Kingston, Toronto, and Ottawa, Ontario. These comedians have been featured on Just for Laughs, Netflix, Comedy Central, CBC's The Debaters, Jimmy Kimmel Live, Conan, The Comedy Network, and much, much more. Go to absolutecomedy.ca to see this week's lineup. Planning a night out is easy with dinner and show packages available at all locations. Live comedy is a great choice if you're organizing a celebration, fundraiser, company outing, or corporate event. Want the show brought to you? They'll send comedians to your venue with performances tailored to your event, creating a night of laughs your guests will love and won't soon forget. So for showtimes, ticket prices, gift certificates, special shows, and more, head to absolutecomedy.ca. Again, that's absolutecomedy.ca for the best live stand-up comedy from across North America.
And we're back. So I've only got one more sponsor. Did I forget anybody? I never forget them. My partners at DK, Dorling Kindersley, guys, DK.com in the States, /CA, added to the end for Canada, or just Google DK Books. You'll find their stuff. Guys, this week, didn't get too far through it. I mean, I was reading it, but I didn't finish it. Is in a book I'm enjoying, but I'm also, it's funny because I don't normally, you guys know me, I'm normally loving everything by DK. And I took a bit of issue with this one almost immediately. But the book is called Dreams. Unlock Inner Wisdom, Discover Meaning, and Refocus Your Life.
I like the cover.
Yeah, it's by Rosie March Smith. So I'm going to read you the back and then I'm going to tell you what I read about it and kind of what I thought on it. So it says, find out how to decode and interpret your dreams to reveal how the images, stories, and emotions you experience in sleep are deeply connected to your waking life. Learn how you can train your mind to access your unconscious and open the gateway to self-discovery. Explore hundreds of dream meanings and shine a light on the unique associations you bring to your dream world. Use your dreams to identify and overcome obstacles, realize latent talent, get to the root of how you really feel about the people in your life, and much more. Open your eyes to the meaning of your dreams and take advantage of their incredible power for self-improvement. Then it says about the author, Rosie Smith is an integrative psychotherapist working with dreams, the eclectic and a transpersonal approach. I was like, it's the yellow font over a green, so it's hard to read. That or I can't read, whatever you want, whatever narrative you want. So started reading this book. And I was like, because I'm big on dreams. I definitely believe dreams have meanings. I've heard theories before in life that say that your dreaming is your brain's way of trying to solve problems in your life. It's trying to run you through scenarios. Like that's why you feel things in your life and stuff like that. Things that you don't, things that fears that you might be going through or whatever. But your brain tries to create associations. What do you think on dreams? Do you think any of that stuff?
Oh, yeah. I don't think a lot of people are dreaming these days because people aren't sleeping long enough to have a dream.
Well, before I got my
REM sleep anymore.
Yeah. Well, before I got my apnea machine, I wasn't having REM sleep.
Don't you love those things? Sleep apnea machines.
Do you have one?
Lifesaver. No, I don't. But I know quite a few people are using them. I should probably go get tested.
Yeah. Well, apparently you're killing your heart and your brain if you're not breathing while you're sleeping.
Damn, that oxygen thing. But yeah, I love dreaming.
I used to think like sometimes people would tell me about their dreams and I'm like, oh, that sounds like this or that. Like even my own dreams, I would try to interpret afterwards. Like I remember when I was with Crystal, I would have these dreams occasionally where, we'd be together and, and then all of a sudden, like over the course of the dream, some other dude would be around. And then through the course of the dream, she would be spending more time with them. And I'd even try to get a little bit of her attention and she would be incredibly cold towards me. And I remember trying to think like, oh, maybe maybe I subconsciously think that she's not interested in me. Like, cause your own insecurities can manifest in your dreams. Yeah. And I was like, oh, I think maybe that my dreams, I'm dreaming that I'm afraid she doesn't care about me. I'm afraid someone else will come along and just completely steal her away or whatever, blah, 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 blah. But other dreams with shit
nightmare.
too. Yeah. Oh, and nightmares are addressed in this too. But it's your brain, like, and sometimes they talk about your brain
Flushing
trying to not only flush itself, but sometimes it's trying to make you aware of something that you might not be aware of, like perhaps an insecurity, or sometimes it's even fundamental, real things in your life that you kind of just are in denial about or whatever.
You're talking truth to yourself in your dreams in a way.
Pretty much. Now, the issue that I took with this book, though, because they do talk about Freud and Freud's theories on dreams.
I thought we threw Freud out. I thought all his stuff was tossed.
You thought so?
Yeah.
Why?
It's all crap.
Because it's all crap. Our findings are it's crap.
Creep.
Yeah, no.
Hey.
Carl Jung, that's the Swedish guy. I think it was Swedish or Swiss. I can't remember if I'm wrong
Same
about that.
shit.
That's funny. Yeah, so like he talked about, your brain trying to solve or whatever. One of the things that I found, they talk about like sleep hygiene, and they talk about nightmares and healthy
hygiene.
sleep. Yeah. They said hygiene is usually like word of cleanliness, but it's like, getting your 8 hours. If you have too much caffeine or alcohol before you go to sleep.
So no one's doing well in this country then.
Pretty much.
Who's
So
not
they
on caffeine?
they talk about Freud, and they talk about Carl Jung, and they start to talk about how. So here's the issue I took with the book is I was hoping that the book was going to be more psychology based, more study based, and right away they start talking about like, they're not going into theology. It's not like religious, but it's talking about like the collective unconscious and like leaving yourself to join the rest of the world through your dreams. And they're like, and they talk, it's like, and it's the dreams have magic in them. And it started. You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. If I was standing in the store, going at this, I would have put it back because it didn't happen later in the book. It happened almost immediately. But here's the thing: it subsided very quickly afterwards. So, and I didn't finish it. I'm not finished. I'm probably only realistically about 30% of the way into the book. And I'm still reading it. I'm still finding some of the things that they talk about fascinating. But I just remember getting a very, feeling out of it when I read like, oh, it's magic and your dreams are like, it was very, it almost made me feel like they started talking about clairvoyance. A clairvoyant will talk about and I'm like, okay. Because dreams are a real thing. We're not talking about like, this isn't a book about how to communicate with the dead. This is a dream. This is a book about, hey, when you dream this, you interpret that. And I know there's a lot of psychology involved with dreams. I never take issue. Usually when I read the beginning of a DK book, they give you, it's such a good hook on like, here's what we're going to be talking about in this book. And it's interesting. There's so much information they give you right away. They give you so much context. The intros are usually great. Right. This one, like I said, if they weren't my partners and they didn't love everything they did, and this was, kind of our agreement is that I'll review the books. If that wasn't the case with this book, I would have put it down based on what I was getting almost initially. It felt more mystical than it did psychology and
fluffy.
And yeah. Now they do address the fact that, scientists try to do it, and they talk about mapping the brain waves when you're having nightmares and when you're having pleasing thoughts and stuff like that. Yeah. It's still a great book. I'm going to finish it, and I am excited to do it because they start to get into more of what things kind of represent in dreams. I really felt polarized by the intro. But yeah, and nothing negative. It was still very kind and whatever. It just for some reason it seemed to delegitimize the science and psychology, and was more like, well, if you're just, it's like someone dangling a crystal over their hand and they're telling you what it means or doing it really felt like a fucking palm read or something. So anyways, but who knows? I'm not finished. I'm
snake oil.
Yeah, I'm judging it based on an early adaptation. But the book, so just to bring you guys into what's there's things about like what being lost means, what redundancy means. If you have dreams about baggage being left behind or losing wallets, what missing body parts could mean, what that being naked in your dreams means, work performance. Just doing some of them. I don't know, marathon running. I've never dreamed about that. That'd be a nightmare for me. Here's one here, squeezing through a hole. I've never had that. But falling is a very big,
that's a very common
big one in dreams.
People falling off cliffs, you better wake up.
Yeah, being late, being chased, tests and exams, being under pressure. You know, or being back in a former workplace. That's actually another one. I've had that occasionally, very occasionally. Yeah. But there's all sorts of different things, accidents in transportation, what flying, what driving, searching for the bathroom I've never had, which is hilarious to me. But
how about the ailments that as you age, they creep their way into your dreams?
Maybe.
You had those issues?
Toys coming alive back to school?
Arthritis is really a problem in my dreams.
Dream that you have arthritis?
Yeah, like I'm either sleeping funny and like it's hurting in my dream. I'm like, my arm is killing me.
Watching sexual activity, what it means in a dream.
Have you watched sexual activity in a dream?
It's called porn. No, not my dreams.
It's called marriage.
You know what? In my dreams, this was a joke that I was going to make when I was young. I don't think it's funny enough that I would do on stage anymore. It's not worth developing. But I used to have sex dreams.
Trying it out right now, folks.
Sure.
Go for it.
But I'm never
sex dreams.
But I'm never going to get the response. So I'm not really testing it out because I'll never know if they laughed or not. And my you guys can feel free to email me.
The window.
Contact at onemanpodcast.com. If I tell you anything it's funny, tell me.
That's all we need back.
Well, in my dreams, if I was having a sex dream, my dream would always be like, it would be like an adventure thing. You know, not necessarily Indiana Jones or whatever, but it would be I'm with someone who I have a crush on or that I want to fuck, clearly. Yeah. And we would have to overcome shitloads of obstacles, people chasing us or you know, we're being chased by the bad guys, you know, with machine guns and basically it's like you'd have to survive a Die Hard movie. And honest to God, every time I would have those dreams, right at the point of like penetration, we're finally going to fuck, I would wake up.
Yeah.
And then immediately you're like, oh, I want to go back to sleep. But it doesn't matter. Now you're awake and you know it's a dream and you're like, fuck. So
try to go back to sleep.
But that's the thing. That's the kind of gentleman that I am. That even in my dreams where I get to call all the shots, I still want to earn it. You know what I mean?
You're fucking earning it indeed, dude.
But never got to be a part of it. Never got to be fun. Now here's the thing.
Tonight might be the night.
Should we read this?
Before you go.
I want to know if there's a part in this that says
about
waking up right before you get to fuck. Watching sexual activity. These days, watching sexual activity on a screen is commonplace, even if not universally favored. There's an emotional distancing involved when people are not participating themselves.
No.
Their zest for vicarious living has become preferable to an authentic relationship, and perhaps they're losing out. So you watch.
Perhaps.
So here's. I guess we're gonna get some. Are you cool with understanding what this means?
Yeah.
So you watch friends making love. You are watching a couple you know, and you are watching a couple you know and like making love in the dream. And you feel a painful sense of isolation, a lonely outsider. You feel excluded from something precious that they have obviously found together. Action. Ask yourself,
Mom and
what
Dad.
Is it? Right? Ooh, I'm watching Mom and Dad fuck and I feel excluded.
That's old porn.
Right? So action. It says, ask yourself, what is it that's stopping you from having a fully satisfying sexual life of your own? Consider what you need to do to find a partner. So this is what, if this is happening in the dream, this is what you should do with your life. Group sex is in full swing. So this is the sexual activity.
Barhaven.
You are in a room where group sex is in full swing, with everyone enjoying the excitement. Men and women are moving from partner to partner. Couples are joining up with other couples for a foursome. McGangbangs. And you feel a sense of loneliness. You long to find someone with whom to share sexual pleasure, to join in, but realize in the dream you want only real connection, not a superficial fun time. Action. Your innate wisdom has shone through in this dream. Follow the instinctual response you felt there, and don't seek out activities that will only bring transitory fun.
Don't fuck your neighbor.
That's right. Your needs are deeper than this. Understand you are being urged to find a more rewarding connection with another. This all sounds like fucking, can't you just be a piece of like, why? They're not going to just call you a pervert. But
where did they go with that? I'm lost. I'm even more confused now.
Well, basically, if you're watching your friends make love, it's like, I want that. So you're watching people on your,
You're fucking jealous.
Group sex. You're like, well, I like it, but if I can't get involved, then I means I want something deeper. You are one step removed from danger, and this is still under watching sexual activity. The dream shows sexual activity going on, and it's wildly over-the-top pornographic. Wow. You feel lucky not to be involved. Too racy. What? I've never watched porn and been like, thank God that's not me getting blown by those three hot chicks.
That'd be horrible.
You feel lucky to not be involved. Too racy, but glad to be witnessing it all. That sounds like a serial killer to me.
It sounds like too much porn.
You think so?
Yeah.
You enjoy being there and have no sense of shame. You resent the dream ending when you wake. Action. This is one step removed from you being engaged in sexual activity and is without involvement. You have enjoyed plenty of sexual thrills without really being present. That's porn, like you said. This is the stuff of voyeurism. Realize you need to move on and become involved at least in some sexual activity. It doesn't have to be ruckus.
Go get a hooker. You're fucked.
Get a fucking hooker.
You need a hooker. You
yeah.
pay for it, man. You're in trouble.
Yep. You are a shy observer. So here's the last
learning.
one. You are a shy observer. You're watching sexual activity on television. Does the dream excite you? Do you feel fear, shame, or embarrassment? Excuse me.
Catholic.
Was it a replay of a program you had watched in reality, maybe earlier that night? Did you feel involved in some way, or were you just watching? Just watching. Note your reactions when you wake up and compare them with your felt sense. What is that? You wake up, you start writing down right away. You watch like a bunch of people fucking. Wake up, start writing down. All right, now how did I feel with my self sense? It says, note your reactions when you wake up and compare them. So it says action.
Morning wood.
Sexual feelings are easily stimulated. And a dream following a screen drama
We're
is
talking
normal.
about men here, right? These are all like.
I don't know. It doesn't genderize men.
Well,
Dreams don't see gender, man.
Well, I'm sorry.
But here's what they want you to do.
My
Sexual
apologies
feelings.
to your listeners that were offended by that last comment.
Sexual feelings are easily stimulated, and a dream following a screen drama is normal. If the sexual scene came out of the blue, reflect on the feelings that is engendered. That's a word, right? Engendered? Anyways, whatever. Shame and embarrassment could suggest you are still shy about sex. Notice how your dream neatly placed you at a safe distance from the erotic action and determined to face those fears. Anyways, whatever. That's the watching sexual one. I don't know, but dream about arthritis is a thing. Making love. Ooh. Okay, so the first was making love, and then it's watching love. Stranger carrying a long object. The picture shows a samurai, just for anyone who's like, what? Feeling responsible for others, rescuing people, terrorists, dead bodies.
Whoa, terrorists, eh?
Yeah, ghosts.
Like what kind of terrorists?
Your parents.
Old terrorists.
Kissing
new
a
terrorists.
loved one. Ooh, baby. Yeah, I can't wait to get through this. And then I'm getting back into the territory of the stuff that I'd already read.
Freudian stuff's all the.
Oh man. Well, anyways, so that's what I'm saying, guys. Cool. Dreams. If you're interested and you want to learn more, the book is called Dreams: Unlock Inner Wisdom, Discover Meaning, and Refocus Your Life.
It's got pictures too.
Oh, that's the best thing about DK, man. The imagery. They always have amazing imagery in their books. It keeps your simple brain like mine just like, oh, there's a picture. It's like travel. Oh, there's a plane. I get it now.
Robert Munch, man.
Yep.
Classics.
Right? So, guys, Dreams, Unlock Inner Wisdom, Discover Meaning, and Refocus Your Life from DK. So, DK.com, add a /CA in Canada, or just Google DK Books. You guys will find it's the holiday seasons. Maybe you got a weird kid who lives in the basement who's having sex dreams about watching you guys fuck. At least you can give him the tools to
Help a kid out, man.
to move forward.
Help a kid out of Christmas.
That's what we got. So, coming up, Paul, what do you got going on this week? You got anything fun coming up for you that you're excited about?
What do I got fun coming up? I just moved, so my wife is probably going to have me unpacking all week. Do you know how hard it is to move from a house to a condo? Stupid hard.
You're in a condo now?
Yeah, we moved to a condo.
Interesting.
Condo. I'm loving it. I'm liking it. Less to clean.
Yeah.
Well, you
whereabouts?
There's only two of us. We're
like I know you said you're on Wellington. Are you off or on right on?
Right on.
Oh, okay. Good for you, man.
Right on. Yeah,
near Parkdale or
by Parkdale, between Parkdale and here. What's this?
the
Fairmont?
next one? Yeah, Fairmont. Okay,
Yeah,
that's cool.
those
You're
two
right in the
spots.
neighborhood. You're walking distance, buddy.
I walked here.
Did
It
you
was
really?
Amazing. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So yeah, well, for myself, I've got tonight. I'm doing a spot at Absolute Comedy. That's, of course, recording this on Tuesday, so it'll be too late for you guys to come see me. I'm going to go yell at another audience and be polarizing.
You're up tonight?
Yeah, and I'm on tomorrow night as well.
Nice.
And then this weekend, I do my first Winter Wonderland out inside of Loblaws. I'm doing the one at College Square this week. So yeah, like again, I have international listeners. None of them even know what I'm talking about. And it's not going to be fun to watch me handing out cookie samples or whatever.
I'm going to be there.
In snow pants and a big red winter jacket. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to anything. I'm going to hate my life this week.
You're getting paid though, right?
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not doing the shows in Renfrew for free, and I'm not handing out cookies for free either. But I do that all week, and that's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then next Monday, do I have anything? Yeah, I got nothing on the top of on my list here. So I'm doing basically that for the next 3 weeks. So nothing exciting, but I got a couple shows coming up, guys.
Sounds like the holidays.
Yep. Going to be working on
Any more
my
corporate
craft.
gigs?
Not at the moment. I'm working on something for New Year's. I don't know why I've had such bad burps today. Do you think it's the old McDouble or it's the oatmeal process?
The oatmeal.
You think so?
Oatmeal's
you got bad
horrible
burps?
for you. Yeah, oatmeal's not good for
Is
you.
it?
Oh, it's so bad for you.
Really?
Oh, it's terrible for you. Haven't you read all the chemicals in it? It's garbage.
Really? I got like organic steel cut oats I added to ours.
all of it. Garbage.
Really?
Garbage.
Well, why didn't you tell me that before we ate it?
I don't want to be rude. Drop me something. I'm not going to eat it.
It's poison. You're like, I'll take it.
I'll take it.
Really? Because I thought oatmeal was supposed to be good for you in the sense that it's slow release energy.
No, that's a myth. All these myths are getting blown out of the water. Do you know that the human body really can't consume any of that crap, all this grain and all that?
Yeah, we're not. I know that we're not designed for
shit.
that.
Corn comes out whole.
Yeah.
Did you see the corn bit? The corn bits always work. I did a corn bit on Saturday Night Live the other day. It's pretty funny.
Oh yeah.
Will Ferrell still doing corn
and
bits.
corns.
Poop bits, and Will Ferrell still doing poop bits.
Not
So tell me
surprising.
poop doesn't sell.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. People like to laugh at poop. I mean, a guy went to his Christmas party with I don't trust a fart in my face.
I watched a YouTube video that my niece showed me. She's 9, of how to handle a 1-ply piece of toilet paper when you need more than 1 ply. It was interesting.
Well, what would she say to do?
The gentleman, and he was experienced at this because he knew how to do it, and he taught you how to fold it up properly to get 2 wipes, and then you tear a piece of the top out to clean underneath your fingernail.
Oh, that's the one where you basically, if you have 1 piece of toilet paper, you pop it over like your
you're digging it out, and you're using the toilet paper as like a flour flange to
squeegee
stop
your
it from
fucking
moving on your other.
I've actually seen
you commit the 1 finger, I guess.
I've just seen that before. Yeah. So the whole idea is that finger is digging.
Oh, you're gold mining there. I guess you're cleaning the rims. You're doing everything.
It's like when you have to unclog the sink in the kitchen. You're stirring all of that shit out.
But my niece was showing it to me like, Uncle Paul, you might be stuck. Like she was legitimately like this might fucking happen. Like you need to know this. Like,
well, if you have 1 piece of toilet paper,
Uncle Paul. She's like,
so this
happened to me.
This is 1 piece of toilet paper, and assume no sink.
That's I guess.
Because if I had 1 piece of toilet paper and a sink, I will clean with my hands, and then I will wipe it.
Sink.
I will wipe it dry. You don't even need the toilet paper at that point. If you have the sink to wash your hands, like when are you ever going to be in a situation?
But you got to get your pants up to get to the sink, and you don't want to.
No, you don't.
Well, listen, civilized worlds, you do. I don't know where you're.
We're talking civilized. We're talking about digging your asshole out with your finger, and then taking a little square left.
We're all cavemen at one time.
Shit. All I'm saying is
desperate situations.
When are you ever going to get 1 piece of toilet paper and not already be in a bathroom?
Listen, there's never been a time where
you're like, oh, thank God I had that 1 piece of toilet paper in my pocket, and I'm in the middle of the woods. Bullshit. It's all bullshit. All bullshit.
I know now, though. But the part that got me was, and she knew it.
The hole that you make, you save because that's the part you dig out the finger.
And you know what? That's what she wanted to show me. She thought that was probably the funniest part. She was waiting to see my action about digging it out, and she got the reaction she wanted. But this is the same kid that, this is a funny story. This kid's fucking funny. So this is a couple years ago. She's older now. She's 9. This is like when she was 6. Uncle Paul's visiting for the holidays, and because I'm an absentee uncle, I let them beat the shit out of me when I get home. I just let them jump all over me. And I'm a jungle gym, right? Because I'm a big guy. I can handle a couple of 4-pounders, 5-pounders, 70-pounders hanging off you. So Uncle Paul's taking a rest downstairs, minding his business, and they all came and land sharked me and jumped on top of me and pinned me down. And I honestly couldn't get up because the arthritis and stuff was there. So I was like, I can't maneuver. So I was like, they're going to get off at some point in time. And just as I'm thinking that, the only thing that was exposed was my face. And this little butt comes sitting down onto my face and farts. Horrible. And this kid only eats meat.
Did you?
Oh my God. Gross. And she gets up and she says to me, she goes, "You're the Fartface." And what I had remembered was over the course of the week of the holidays, we've been calling each other fart faces all week. And she literally was backing it up. She waited all week to get me pinned, and she farted in my face.
She cropped us you right in the face.
And she's like, "I win. You are the fart face." That was at 6.
Did you in that moment when she fired on you? Did you laugh or did you get mad?
I ate it because I was laughing so hard. I ate her fart because I seen it coming.
Oh God!
Just this little butt coming down. It's like
she was wearing pants.
That's hers.
Just the butt. It's not like she pulled down her pants.
No, she didn't
to
pull
like,
that. She's only 6.
Give you the old ham sandwich
it was a
there.
Straight fart. She just stuck her ass right in my nose and let her go and laughed her fucking head off. She thought it was the best thing ever. And
did you ask her, don't do that again to Uncle Paul?
No, I said you win.
You win.
You win. Your hands down win. I am the Fartface because I have fart on my face now.
That's
so I lost
hilarious.
a 6-year-old. But that's the life I live with.
Those are the notes to reflect on this week, guys. Thanks for doing this with me, buddy. I hope you had fun.
Thanks for having me. This was a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, my pleasure too. Listen,
134.
Have a 134, guys. I hope you guys have a great week. Tell me about the fun stuff that you got going on. Oh, I forgot to say one little note here. I'm actually going out this afternoon to pick something up. My friend Matt Watson and his lovely family, his mom Sue. I like wrapping gifts. Matt Watson and I wrap gifts with each other every year when we can. I think I missed it last year. I know Oh yeah, Matt taught me how to wrap presents nicely, and then
Why you guys at the Rito Mall making money then? If you like,
no, it's garbage. They don't even let you do a nice job there, and it's all about like hurry the fuck up.
Oh, you're a man of your art.
Oh no, hey, listen, I go wicked into it. I put the bows on. I curl the fucking ribbons. I match.
You got like a knife or you use the scissors.
I use the scissors.
Fucking baller.
But I have like I go out and I buy like 3D, like, you know, like the little tags where you write the names on, the little 3D ones. I match the tags with the color of the ribbon and the wrapping paper.
How are
like
you not married? Because
apparently women don't like gay guys to marry.
No. They love it. But what I'm saying is gay guys.
Yeah, pretty much. So what I did was Matt and I would get together and wrap the gifts every year. But what happens is Simon's standing in the room. You're acknowledged, Simon.
Bonjour, monsieur.
Yeah. So what we would do is every year we would get together and basically do our wrapping. And then last year Matt's like, "Oh, my family now we've started to purchase gifts for a needy family." So I'm sitting here wrapping. I'm like, "Oh, so I'm just buying gifts for people I like." I'm like, I go, "Fuck you. I don't want to be the asshole who's not helping the needy." So
sure you do.
Because I've done that previous years where I bought gifts for like Children's Aid Foundation, not Society, but Foundation. And that's like families that stay together that are in tough times or whatever. Yeah. So I've gotten a list of gifts that those kids want and buy them and then wrap them and bring them up. And then they told me when I bought them and I wrapped them, they told me we can't give the gifts once they're wrapped because we don't know what's in it. And I go, well, I'll tell you what it is. Like, yeah, but technically our policy is, we have to know what it is. You can't just give us the gift. So
it could be a pedophile wrapped up. You don't know.
Well, it's just, you can't give a gift to a family and it's like drugs or something. So, but because my brother's wife works for the foundation, she knows that, okay, well, Josh said that's this or whatever. But I was like, the whole reason I bought them is I like wrapping them. So if you're telling me I can't wrap the gifts, then I'm not, no, don't take them back. They kept them that year, but I'm like, that's the fun for me.
This is not happening again.
I'm selfish like that. I won't help a needy family unless I get to wrap the presents.
Maybe you could go around and help those needy people wrap those same gifts that evening.
Yeah, I'll just show up the day of and go, all right, I got gifts for you.
Ding dong, wrapper.
So, for
this
this year, I'm joining the Watson family and assisting a needy family.
Beautiful.
So I got my list of things that the family member is into, and I'm going to go pick those up this afternoon. That is also part of my week.
That's brilliant.
Yeah,
that's a very
whatever. It's nice. Week. And then sometime this holiday season, Matt and I will get together and wrap the gifts and then send them off. But I don't need gifts at Christmas. It's funny. Every year I'm kind of like, I'm out buying stuff for people. And then I'm like, you know what? I don't need anything. I always forget, people are going to get me things too.
Yeah.
So,
It's better to give than receive.
I think so. I have more fun with it. Like I said, for me, it's like the festive. I like the tree up. Nobody, Jason doesn't like the tree. Kamar doesn't like the tree in the house. So I don't put one up anymore.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, no, they don't like it. So
there's 2 trees right here. They're palms.
Yeah, well, they're shitty, like dead rubber trees.
Can you put lights on those? Would they get upset about that?
No, Jason's just not Christmassy. So I'm like, whatever. I don't care. I'm not going through the work. Nobody appreciates it. So,
just to piss him off.
But I like the wrapping presents and having cider and all that shit. So, and I'll put on Christmas music while I do it. I enjoy
favorite
it.
Christmas carol?
No, I don't know. I don't care.
You don't care?
No.
You don't have like a
I don't have a
thought
favorite.
favorite.
Dude, every year they pick a new one that's like the rapist song. So everyone's taking issue with Christmas music now. Of course they do. Baby It's Cold Outside is a rape song, apparently. I know it's not, but it's just stupid.
Well, it's an aggressive song.
Yeah.
It's aggressive.
But anyway, so that's what I'm doing with my week. Onesies, thanks for listening. Episode 134. Paul, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Kaboom. And we will talk to you guys soon.